and welcome to the final day of the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer tournament for 2018. We're kicking things off today with third place match played between IMRaziel and Grimelios. For game one, on the mic, I'm Sigma, and I'm joined by Vooligen. How's it going, dude?
Going pretty well. I'm excited for this final day of action here. We've got two really good matches here between four really good players, one of whom is you, so I think I'm going to use that as a jumping off point. Raziel here in the third place match. Tell us how you sent him here, Sigma.
Yeah, well, we played some Randomizer, and I played it faster than him, but no. It was a pretty good match we had in the semis between Raz and I, and I managed to win 2-0, but that second race was so close between me and Raz, dude. It could have gone either way. I could be sitting there in my chair, which is the same place I'm sitting now, playing against Grim instead of commentating. But that's not how it went.
Well, that is a shame for Raziel, but good for you, and that's really the focus here. Meanwhile, on the other side, we've got Grimelios taking on Muffin in the semifinals, and he did take that loss. But boy, that was a heck of a match. And Grim did manage to take that to 3 games, and in the third game, actually holding a pretty decent lead, managing to hold on to a lead, even though Muffin, kind of stormed back with a late dash find, but still catching up to be within like 30 seconds of Grim. And then the Ginso charge dash strats just not quite working out for Grim, not quite having the knowledge of those strats. I gotta wonder, Sigma, you think he's practiced those before this week?
I have to imagine he would have sat down and maybe messed with them a bit, but he could also just say, that might not happen again, like be wanting to avoid them. So we'll see how it goes. I know Raz doesn't like them very much either, so we might not see any dash ramps today, but I do want to note as well, Grim didn't lose a game to anybody in the bracket except for Muffin. He only went like 3-2 in the Swiss. I mean, took losses to 2 very good opponents in Terra and Brynhold. But in the bracket, we see he's the 17th seed here on this screen. But he took out the first seed to do in his second match, 2-0. So Grim's a terrifying dude.
Yeah, I have faced him as well in the bracket and taken my absolute destruction. Grim's really, really, really good. So that 17 seed, not really a particularly meaningful number as we're about to get started here. The main thing I think that Grim's worried about in this race, he really hopes that his input method is not going to become a notable disadvantage. He uses controller exclusively. Raziel is a KBM player, and some different tricks are just a little bit either unreasonable to do or just significantly harder on controller, and mostly just Grim is hoping that those don't become the focus of either of the races. He'd rather just play a pretty even match and lose to Raziel on the merits rather than the input method.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, the number one thing that Grim is looking for that is a bash grenade seed, just because oh god, grenade's the first pickup.
No. Oh no.
Not starting off looking too good. In game one, bash could be just around the corner, and then you can gain a lot of time by continuously throwing grenades and then bashing off of them, and there's like a lot of multi-grenade combos that can save you a lot of time, but aiming grenades on controller is far more difficult than aiming them on keyboard and mouse, so we'll have to see. There's a possibility that this is not a bash grenade seed.
Oh god, I saw the green tags. My heart stopped. Okay, so Climb does not have the same implications here as Bash would. Climb is going to get us our wall interaction. We'll get into Blackroot Burrows if the runners so choose. We haven't seen any Keystones yet, so it's pretty unlikely we'll be going left here, although there are 2 pickups.
Yeah, because they haven't got any experience yet, I think both runners are going to go over here for these 2 pickups, both because there could be another skill here which speeds up Blackroot even more, and because they really want a level up before they go to Blackroot so that they're able to skip the first cutscene in it using a save anywhere. So the next pickup is going to be Charged! So we're not even 2 minutes into the seed, and grenade jumps have been unlocked.
That's incredible. I know that there's somewhere Covert Muffin is watching this and he's just like, yes, I'm so excited. And there's Dash off of the Frankie Walk pickup. This seed is ridiculous. Wow, both players gonna go immediately check the tree here, accessible with grenade right at the start, and they're both gonna find an energy cell. And now it does look like they're both going to join up and head into Black Root Burrows. IMRaziel still needs to collect a level up, so he does turn back to do that. But now we're gonna be heading in for the first skill tree and you know, the first difficult section of this run.
Yeah, that's right. Though with these skills, you can make Blackroot so incredibly fast, it's ridiculous. Between dash to move you across the horizontal platforms and the fact that you have charge jump, so you know, normally runners will grab the orb down here that Grim's going for and Raz is going for, get this one pickup and then altar, and then return from the top, which is pretty fast because they have dash, but it's even faster to just charge jump up the left side, which they can do because they have charge jump. So we'll see what they opt for. Altaring is safer. Charge jumping is a bit spookier. It can go wrong, but we'll see. Grim
especially at 3 HP.
Yeah, yikes.
Alright, yeah, so Grim will go ahead and altar. Yeah, he wants to make sure that he's not going to take, you know, some death at the beginning here that's just going to cost him a bunch of time and set him behind IMRaziel. That said, he is actually ahead of IMRaziel at the moment, just by a little bit, not a major amount. But, you know, just little things that he's doing along the way here are saving him little bits of time. For example, he remembered to use grenade on the bramble wall earlier on. He goes ahead and falls here, which normally might be bad, but he has grenade, so he knows he can throw it up to light that lantern. That was pretty cool. I've never seen a camera stay down like that during that, but that's something.
Yeah, that's right. And Raz is going to grab the map fragment off to the right of Dash here, which he could have done because he had a bad platform cycle, and now his platform cycle is great. So he catches that, and now they're on the same platform, plus Raz picked up an extra pickup during that time. Grim will get it after the Dash tree. That's a pretty heads-up thing for Raz to do here, because you can't really get any benefit out of stacking the Dash cutscene. When you have Dash already, you might as well just, you know, do the kind of normal skip, I guess, where the cutscenes don't stack, and then you have no reason not to just get that map stone then. So we're synced up, going into the grab here, and oh, Grim's gonna grab a couple more pickups here first, keeping the dash plant, and then heading back over. Oh, that was smart, actually. He needed to level up, so he grabbed the dash plant because it had guaranteed experience, and good play.
And a lot of it. Yeah, I really like that play. That's going to get him also that knowledge. It's just an energy regeneration upgrade. Wall jump coming off of the dash tree for IMRaziel. Grim actually always does the normal cutscene skip here, so that's pretty standard for him. Raz making the you know, kind of the calculated play, as you'd mentioned. And now Raz, having already collected that mapstone pickup, saves him a little bit of time, so he is now ahead. But of course, you know, small leads like this in Randomizer, very easy to get obliterated over the course of the race. And IMRaziel, since he has charge jump, that ability cell here being vanilla, he's actually going to go ahead and keep it instead of reloading. Charge jump makes it pretty quick to get back.
Yeah, I think it's a really good call to keep this here as well, because it's very early, they have very few ability points, and they might want to use them for some cutscene skips. They don't have to cutscene skip on this boulder because they don't need to keep the Frankie alive for any reason. Raz is trying to break this floor here so that he can not have to watch a cutscene on the Blackroot teleporter. It took him a couple tries though. We'll see if Grim gets it. He does get it first try there. Note that both of them dropped below the floor, so now the laser down there is unsafe, and they'll have to remember that for later, but I don't imagine it'll cause them any troubles.
I've never seen anyone have any problems with that. It's never been a thing. Meanwhile, IMRaziel collecting the Boulder XP, it's just 159 XP, and for his part, Grim just picks up 2 energy cells from the other 2 pickups, the Mapstone Turn-In and the Health Cell. So that brings him to 4, and it does give him access through the Death Gauntlet door, but I wonder if he's actually just going to head on in to the grenade tree. That kind of does seem like what he wants to do. He does have access to grenade jump Sigma, so even though he's a little low on ability points, he can just grenade jump his way in here if he wants.
Plus he has dash, so he can also use that.
Oh, you know, yeah, that skill, that helps a little bit.
Yeah, it's easy to forget they have so much stuff already, and Raz is going to make the same play. I really like this for both players here. Raz takes a death, but he had a save right there, so it's not so bad. Getting the grenade tree out of the way right now is very good, because all that they could do at that point is altar and likely go to the Death Gauntlet with all the energy they found. So you might as well make your altar have some more value and get to more of a dead end. Grim is checking the room by the grenade tree. Raz was actually trying to go down a bit further, but took a death that he was not intending, and then decided he'd come back. But actually, he's now taking a couple deaths here, all small, but they do add up.
Yeah, setting him back just little bits behind Grim, and you know, if it weren't like a third place match between two very closely matched competitors, you might be like, oh well, those are fine, whatever, they'll wash out in the end. But a match like this, that type of thing can really matter in the end. So as Grim is already done with his cutscene skip here and heading in to get the tree, which yields 137 XP. It looks like IMRaziel wanted to collect the XP. He doesn't bother checking the grenade pickup in the top right. That was just an ability cell, so not a big deal. But it does kind of just deprive him of that one extra point that he could have access to.
Yep, so Grim's going to open the Death Gauntlet door, and he's actually going to go back and refill his energy now, from the looks of things. Or no, wait, does he have 2 keystones? I think he does. He's going to take these 2 keystones and go over to the left with them. Raz only has 1, so there was something Grim picked up that was a keystone. That might have been the experience orb in the grenade.
It was the ability cell. It wasn't the XP orb. That's really weird. It wasn't not even the grenade ability cell. It was the ability cell to the right from the laser entrance area to grenade. So IMRaziel taking that death at the laser below, he did not go back to recollect that keystone. So, okay, well now he's got one, so it's kind of whatever. But interesting note, it does get Grim his first clue from his 3rd tree here, telling him where the Gumon seal is located. That's in the Ginso tree. I don't think Grim is going to care that much about that, but we'll see. The night is young.
Yeah. So another keystone for Raz and the Death Gauntlet. They're both runners, still on efficient plays. You know, it's gone a little bit better in this early game for Grim, but the fact that Raz was able to open the Death Gauntlet door and then go straight through it, not have to, you know, take an Altar and then run through that area again, will be pretty good for him. He's going to check a couple of these pickups up around the Grotto TP and then likely head down to Double Jump. The only spooky thing for Raz right now is that 3 keystones, it's a little intimidating to open the door to Double Jump because you would not have enough for left glades, but it's very likely that he'll get another keystone somewhere on his way down through Grotto.
It does seem pretty likely. I would expect to see something from Grim as well. So far, all we've seen is got 161 experience points and extra double jump, which is pretty nice, but not quite lighting his world on fire since he doesn't have actual double jump yet. IMRaziel gonna go ahead and check the glide vault, not finding anything there. So we've gotten a lot at the beginning, but since then we haven't really stumbled on anything major. So we're kind of waiting to see what the next major thing is. Grim does get Charge Flame from the wall jump tree, but that's not going to do a whole lot for him. It might get him access to, you know, like hit a plant the other one. No, I'm just kidding. They're all accessible.
Yeah, with Charge Jump already, it was kind of pointless. It is nice to have. It makes the final escape a little easier. Oh, okay, Grim is somehow alive. I thought for sure the Frankie was going to come kill him, but it did not.
I don't know what it landed on to do that jump, but okay. It's fine.
Don't even worry about it. Alright, and Grim with a level up there, he's going to open this door. And he's going to go swimming for this ability cell. He'll have to ult there if he wants to keep it, but it's just an ability cell, so he'll let himself die and go back to his save that's right there. As Raz is clearing out Lower Grotto, this is likely where Grim is going to head next, so we'll see if there's anything interesting in here. As Raz is checking new stuff, and Grim is just going to be falling. Oh god, Raz got squished.
At least he had the nearby save, but yeah, that's an annoying one where the Crusher's lifting up, but you still get crushed by it for reasons. I'm going to go ahead and check out the Teeth Corridor. He does have Air Dash, so it makes it a little bit easier to navigate this area. And with Charge Jump, he can just jump on up and collect 109 XP. So, again, we still haven't found anything major. The most major thing we found, there was an energy cell in the Death Gauntlet, but that's been about it. Grim is going to be duplicating some of the checks that IMRaziel just did. What Grim did manage to get out of the way, Sigma, is he did collect 2 of the skill trees. And again, this is the Force Trees mode, as it has been for the entire tournament. And those are the goal there. So just getting those out of the way has been pretty good for him and got him a bunch of knowledge as well.
Yeah, another thing is Raz. Oh, he got the Valley Teleporter from Left Grotto, which is pretty good. This is an area that Grim actually likes to skip a fair bit. He's a fan of going in, checking just a couple of the pickups, the very convenient ones up top, and then not actually finishing the vault area on his first pass through Grotto, because you can just go do the double jump tree, and then if you're still looking for pickups, you can go to Left Grotto later because it's pretty quick to get back there from the start. And this is just kind of a thing like you were talking about. It's a forced trees variant. There's no tree in left grotto, so it's not as appealing as right grotto. The only thing that Raz gets out of doing it this way is that it's slightly faster, since he can just kind of leave and then go without having to teleport back or anything like that. And Raz as well is going to start some skips here as well. He does not fight the mini boss despite being able to kill it fast, because they have pretty good skills, and with that Valley teleporter, he could even make some kind of progress on the left side, but our runners will be looking for something nice to help them out still, like Bash, Double Jump, Glide would all be big pickups right now.
Yeah, and you do see Grim continuing down to the left, but as you said, only checking a couple things there. Ouch, getting nicked by these spikes. These deal a very large amount of damage to this area. A little bit more than you would expect, since they're intended to kind of keep you from going that way casually. He does collect his Spirit Flame upgrade off of map number 2, and he is almost certainly just going to head directly to the double jump tree. As you said, his preference is basically do the tree quickly, and then if you still need more stuff, then you can come back and do stuff like lower left grotto. But I have a feeling with all these skills, you know, it's pretty tempting to say, I don't really need to farm that heavily. You know, you can kind of get by with fewer checks in a seed like this. If you can just get lucky and get that one last skill, I think that'll make you feel really confident here.
Yeah, that's right. And there's so many trees that they can choose right now. Raz has not actually been to Glades yet, or left Glades, so he's going to do this, get his Charge Flame tree, get his Wall Jump tree. Grim is going to hit the double jump tree altar, and I would not be surprised to see Grim just go through the Death Gauntlet once again and head over to the Stomp tree, using this charge jump to get in.
Yeah, I really like that play. It would be very efficient kind of thing to do here. He also has the ability to check out Spirit Caverns, which we haven't seen from Grim, likely because he was trying to conserve keystones, be a little bit more efficient time-wise, but could be concealing something important here. We do have Grim on 5 out of 10 trees, and if he gets a 6th one, that's going to get him his next clue. Raziel's at 4, and he'll be at 5 pretty soon once he gets the wall jump tree.
Yeah, that's right. So Grim is dropping down to the teleporter. I do believe he picked up the swamp teleporter somewhere, so he could want to head there, and he is going to head there. So he wants to get some of these checks in the Hollow Grove area. You know, maybe just grab the stuff around the Kuro cutscene, and then possibly head through the top of Grotto down to Swamp, which is still... He could also opt to go through the Spire Sack area, but I expected that he'll skip that, because it's kind of, you know, they have good skills, and it's a sort of dead end. There's no trees left for him to do in that area. And actually, he's not even going to go to Grove. He's just going to go over the top down to Swamp from this teleporter.
That feels like a pretty smart play. Gets him a bunch of checks, not too slow. He's got Grenade, he's got, you know, Charge Jump. He can check everything around this area, and then he's just going to go straight into Swamp at a pretty good, you know, kind of terminus in his routing. So I think this is going to, you know, play pretty well into the way he likes to order some of his checks, and it will get him that tree number 6. It'll get him that clue. We're going to find out what that's going to be, as IMRaziel doesn't collect the Charge Flame down, so that brings him up to tree parity, just a little bit behind Grim, but you know, possibly with some advantage on routing, depending on how he progresses from here.
Yeah, I think Grim has a bit of a lead right now, but the big thing that Raz has is the Valley teleporter. And if left side access ends up being a big problem for them, since Bash and Stomp have not shown up yet, then that Valley teleporter can be a really big deal. So Grim's going to go for Swamp entry now. The easy one, because he's just going to break the floors on his own rather than having to bring a frog over. And Raz looks like he's going to be heading up from the Grotto TP. Wow, there's a friendly spike in there.
What?
Alright, Master Path.
Today we learned. Oh, goodness. So IMRaziel demonstrating some nice little knowledge there, and he is heading to this lower entrance to Swamp here, as Grim is collecting the Forlorn teleporters. So I guess now we really don't care about that Gumon seal, if we even did at all. He's heading into the Stomp tree. We'll be there in just a moment, making sure to avoid damage here. And what are we going to see from this tree? It is a health cell.
Oh, the Sorrow teleporter for Raz as well. So he has his pick of left side teleporters. Unfortunately, he wants to keep it, but getting out of this area is incredibly annoying. And he's actually going to leave it behind because he already has Valley, and he doesn't want to take an altar there. So he's leaving that Sorrow teleporter, but he knows where it is. Grim got that Stomp tree, and now he's heading back to that Glades TP.
Yeah, and he got one other thing, which is that he knows that the Water Vein is in Blackroot, and we have everything we need to do Blackroot. So, yeah, just where we're heading.
Oh yeah, deeper into Blackroot. Here we go. Okay. Raz also did a grenade jump in Swamp there to go up, check up the thing up top. It was wind restored, so another kind of interesting pickup to find, but without Glide, it's meaningless right now. Oh, Grim's heading back into the grenade room. Didn't he full clear this?
I think he missed the XP pickup, and that's the only thing he missed down here. So he's having to go back and check it, which is unfortunate. It's nothing. But of course he doesn't know that, so he's going to have to go get that out of the way, because he doesn't want to spend a million years going down into Lost Grove when it turns out the XP was over here the entire time. So definitely the correct play. And oh, God.
Yeah, that is one consequence of going down here to grenade early, is that pickup is really hard to check when you don't have air dash or charge dash. He gets a keystone, opts to just reload back to his save outside the room. Now check this area. This was something Raz went to earlier and then, you know, took a death on. So we'll see what ends up being. Raz as well, with that clue, is going to be searching through lower Blackroot, looking for that same key.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely the play that makes sense. He has left side access, but doesn't have Glide, is lacking Bash, is lacking double jump, so just things that would make it slightly nicer to deal with. And instead he could just go find the water vein, and against that tree will be almost trivial with the skills they have. So there's a good chance there's progression in there. We're going to see right now. Looks like so far... Nope, it's in Lost Grove, dude.
Yeah, and that could be really annoying because they can't do the swim, and doing the rest of it is, I mean, it's likely that it's not the swim, it's just a different pickup. Doing the rest of it is out of logic with their current skill set because there's too many spikes, but it is doable. So they will be able to get it as long as it's not underwater.
There is a strat using grenade jumps to avoid all the damage. Now, I don't know how confident Grim is in his grenade jumps today. He's definitely practiced them a little bit, but I don't believe he's tried to incorporate them as like a trick he uses regularly. So we'll see if he, you know, knows any strats to make use of that. He does have like charge dashes, he's got grenades, he's got a lot of options here. But we'll see what ends up being his play. IMRaziel right behind him heading into Lost Grove right now. So they're, you know, pretty much both having the same ideas by and large, Sigma.
Yeah, so I think the go-to method here is probably, hit the spikes once and then charge jump off of them. Grim did not manage to get it that time. He managed to break the thing, but he didn't manage to stick on the wall. These walls are horrible. Like, look at that one eat his jumps like crazy. But he does have a climb, which helps out a lot, and he's able to break it up now and get up there. Raz is going to show us the casual way of doing this puzzle, which is bouncing it off these, I don't know, jump pads or whatever, and then he's going to do battle with that wall, but he fails as well, and the water vein is found by Grim on the ability cell there in Blackroot.
So he manages to hold on to that slim lead that he had, despite taking a death there, because, of course, IMRaziel also taking a death. This section is not easy when you have to damage boost it, because, as you mentioned, just that garbage section of wall there that, IMRaziel slips off of and takes another death. So Grim's got a good head start heading towards the Ginso tree right now. That this is clear and obvious destination. That will get him tree number 7, and he's hoping either Bash or Stomp, because right now he's got no left side access, and even if he did get Stomp, Sigma, he would have to somehow navigate his way to the left side using damage boost, and he's not in the best situation for that.
Yeah, and I do want to point out something important here, which I don't know if our runners will realize in the heat of the race, but in 2.6, damage boosts on 3 damage spikes are not considered viable for standard logic, so the thing that they just did is considered a hard bash gate. That pickup must give you bash before you get to it. So bash is not in the against.
That is a great point.
That would be the most useful pickup that they could get. So I don't know how deep they're going to go into Ginso, although honestly I would not be surprised to see runners maybe go up to the 4 Keystone Door. Raz did something interesting right there. He went back for that Soro teleporter that he knew the location of. So he might actually be intending to go for some left side play right now, but let's see. No, he just wanted the teleporter, now he's going to Swamp. Okay, so that will be a good play for him as well.
Yeah, he had an opportunity to just do an alt-R basically for free, so he said, let me just go collect that thing where I knew where it was. I knew it was hard to collect earlier, so he went ahead and did that. I suppose what Grim could find here that would be helpful, but not entirely cover him, is double jump. I think that's about it. really, maybe Glide? Depends on where Bash and Stomp are, I suppose. But yeah, you're right. There's no way Bash is in here, and who knows about Stomp?
Yeah. So Grim's gonna get to the Bash trade. This is gonna be a defining moment, I think, for like kind of his mindset going through. Will he continue, or will he not? He could still find, you know, double jump or glide, as you say. Those could be big, and he is going to at least check this. He is going to continue on, go for these 7 pickups up past to the Bash tree. I wouldn't be surprised to see Raz do the same thing, because it is uncomfortable to try to finish the game with these skills, especially if you're in Grim's shoes and you don't have a left side teleporter.
Beautiful. I'm glad we got that. Grimelios was in the Ginso tree, as we saw earlier, and then now we know specifically where. I suppose the good news for Grim, kind of the silver lining here, although he does not have the Valley Teleporter or the Sorrow Teleporter, I think they're both in locations that are decently likely for him to check out as like, man, where could something be? Let me try these spots, and especially lower left grotto seems like a very good likelihood, so we'll see. He does collect a bunch of keystones, but not a whole lot else, and he's just going to leave the Ginso tree, not going to waste any more keystones, and this looks like a Spirit Caverns play.
Oh yeah, that's right, he's never been here. I can't remember if Raz did this section either.
I don't think so.
So yeah, this is just kind of showing you how much power they had this seed. Normally you see Spirit Caverns checked very early, but they were able to put it off here because they just had so many skills. So here comes 5 pickups for Grim. We got a Keystone to start things off. And then health. That's pretty nice. Mapstone. Who cares? 2 more as Raz gets to the Bash tree. We'll see how deep Raz goes. Oh, there's Stomp. Okay. The puzzle's starting to come together now. A little bit. Stomp almost makes things harder.
Yeah,
because he didn't have a lot of teleporter, so he could use that to go left if he really wanted to.
Yeah, this is going to give IMRaziel a bunch of time makeup right now because he is just going to teleport to the left side and get to work there. Grim is going to have to make his way in. Wow, he actually never checked this pickup next to the mapstone. It wasn't anything, but that's an unusual thing to see, not having checked that at all. And now he does want more. He says that it's not enough to just have Stomp, so he is going to try to either find Bash or a teleporter, and unfortunately that is going to take him even more time that IMRaziel is going to take as much advantage of as he possibly can. But right now, you know, their skill set, not having Bash, not having on IMRaziel's side Stomp, not having double jump, not having glide. So it's not the easiest set of skills to finish this run.
Yeah, it is difficult. I thought that Grim was maybe going to head down to left grotto and find that Valley TP, but there are more pickups for him available in this main grove area, which is another, like, dense early game area that we have not seen. So I think he's heading up through the Iceless area, and, you know, all this stuff is new, dense pickups for Grim. He levels up Ultra Defense. He already had enough ability points for that.
Okay.
He gets Bash on the Iceless experience.
Do you just go mode? Is that the play? I mean, he's not, but do you just leave immediately and just go left?
He could be. I mean, he could be intending to go left. He has no teleporter for it, so just actually running through the spider sack area is his fastest method of going through. Sorrow Pass is gonna suck for him a little bit, but you know, he's got Ultra Defense already and 9 health, so with Charge Jump, he can just, you know, charge jump through the spikes. He is gonna check more stuff though, at least these dense pickups, and then we'll see when Grim decides to go. Raz already making progress on those left side trees is good for him, but Bash is a super good pickup that Grim could potentially make a lot of time back with. And oh, Grim is heading back to the swamp TP. He wants to teleport somewhere. He has no useful teleporters.
Good ones. I think he's gonna go up through Charge Flame tree now as a result of this. This is looking rough for him. IMRaziel's about to collect tree number 9. That's gonna tell him where the Sunstone is, and that could really be the decider as far as whether Grim is still even able to stay in this. Because right now he's got a 2-tree advantage, does IMRaziel, but he finds out that the Sunstone is in Misty Woods, so that is practically free, and he should be good to go here.
Yeah, the second half of Misty is pretty nasty, but doable with these skills. So Raz will probably be okay with that. And actually, he alt-R'd from the Valley teleporter. And is going to teleport to Swamp. What? I'm so confused. Does he just maybe not want to do Bashless Misty, and he's going to look for stuff on the left side instead?
I mean, if so, he's going to find Bash, like, immediately. It's right there. Yeah, that he wants to farm. That's really interesting. I'm a little surprised. I guess it makes sense if you are not confident doing the end of Misty without having some additional mobility, then yeah, this makes a lot of sense. This part is a little bit questionable.
Well, okay. I mean, we've seen this happen before. Sometimes you just think you're done at 9 trees and without a sun. But I mean, he could just be checking this stuff and then heading down, and he's not actually going to horror, and I'm crazy. But we'll see in a moment. Okay, I'm crazy.
Okay.
I thought he might have actually been going to horror there. It's like, wait a sec, Raz. He might just want more ability cells, actually. Like, he doesn't have ultra defense yet, so that could be what he's after. Only 6 health, too.
Yeah, I mean, when he gets... Oh... Okay, that's not as bad as I thought, but geez. When he gets bashed, that will help him substantially. IMRaziel. Come on, dude. Just jump over the frog. Just kill him. Just throw grenades at him. It's fine. Grim now finally managing to get all the way into Valley and collect his charge dashes and collect his skill feather, but that's still going to leave him at 8. And depending on whether he goes to Sorrow or Misty first, I assume he's going to go to Sorrow first because he'll be wanting to make sure that he doesn't miss a key being in Misty. Although he could also just farm Misty out while he's doing it.
Yeah, thing for Grim is his Sorrow is painful right now, right? Like, he doesn't have Glide, and he doesn't have the Sorrow TP, so it's going to be a little slow. He's going to check these bottom of Valley pickups, hoping for maybe Glide or something to show up. But Raz is back already, only missing Stomp against what Grim has, and that's not really consequential right now. So Raz will just be able to do Misty, and Grim, I think you're right, is just looking maybe a little too far behind. He's going to go into Misty as well, both hoping to maybe find Glide on these like early pickups, and hoping that the Sunstone is not in deep Misty, because of course he doesn't know yet.
Yeah, although he will get Tree 9 in here, so he won't have the chance of getting completely screwed or anything. But
That's right.
Which in fact probably informed his decision to go in here. If it were going to be Tree 8, I would imagine he would have avoided it entirely for that reason. But yeah, unfortunately this is going to be a little bit too much for him. The problem being the combination of IMRaziel having that Star teleport, which might not have been enough if he had never found Bash, but since he went back and Bash was in a pretty obvious location, speaking of things in obvious locations, there's that Sunstone. So not going to pose much of a problem for IMRaziel, and actually he might be looking at that time he just spent farming Bash Sigma and thinking like, crap, I just wasted a bunch of my time.
Yeah, that's right. Like, as you said, it was kind of surprising that he went back for it, but probably ends up being pretty even. It speeds things up. It makes the final escape a lot safer.
That
was so good.
Oh gosh.
I guess another consideration for Raziel's part is that final escape. Without Bash, the swim does a lot of damage to you, and he didn't have Ultra Defense yet either. I think he's getting close to it now. But at only 6 health, a Bashless final escape without Ultra Defense sounds pretty terrible.
Yeah, but with it, I can't imagine him having too much trouble on the escape. He will have a little bit of trouble here in Misty. Not having Ultra Defense does make this area substantially more annoying when you don't have, well, really any useful aerial sustainability at all. Actually, he's having enough of a tough time here. He has to Soul Link to get back to full health, taking 3 damage per hit on these spikes and just not having a lot of possibility to really control his position in the air. He does get down to a safe spot, but he can't drop another save, and so he takes another death. And actually, this is giving Grim some time to catch up here, but again, this is going to be a rough Sorrow Sigma. What is he even going to do to get up? What strat do you think he's going to use?
I think that he's going to just climb charge jump up the main shaft and then just charge jump across the spikes. He has enough stats for it, and Raz is having a huge amount of trouble here, and he's going to now zombie this section. So this is a little bit tense for Raz. If he gets saves in a bad position, he can actually just force himself to back out, which is terrible. So he's being very careful here. Just the less health that he has from what Grim has is causing a lot of troubles. And okay. Grim canceled out that rocket jump. Looks like he wants to go grab the tumbleweed. So he's going to be charge dashing through the laser and using that as his way up rather than charge jumps. Just kidding. He's going up.
This is the tough part where you get to a situation where you need to do something a little bit, unusual, and you don't necessarily have memorized like the exact number of health and like the exact type of stats that you need to be able to navigate a given area, especially with that double jump. It can be so awkward. So they're taking a death. IMRaziel finally getting through on his zombie ore, and he is done with trees. He is at 10. That is going to almost certainly put this out of reach for Grim, but he is going to collect tree number 10 very shortly. So he manages to get through there. So I don't know. If something unusual happens, Raz is farming? What?
He doesn't feel good enough on his stats, I guess. It seems strange because he has Bash, right? So he should be able to avoid all damage with that in the escape, but he wants Ultra Defense. Note that he did lose like a race in the semis that he would have won handily if he had farmed for Ultra Defense, so it could be memories of that are coming back to him. But here he is, finds a health cell in Spirit Caverns, and he says that's enough. But Grim is already teleporting to Swamp.
Holy crap, suddenly Grim is back in this race. He has clawed his way back in when it really didn't seem like it should have been possible, thanks to the teleporter advantage that IMRaziel had, just because of that slight difference in confidence, the difference in stats. And so Grim is already in the main area of Hollow Grove, and this is awkward, Sigma. This end of the seed with no double jump and no glide, but it is definitely possible for both runners. And thanks to Bash, IMRaziel can't even necessarily count on Grim to make a big mistake. And IMRaziel, he left before finding Stomp, so he has to bash this Baneling into this wall. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's right. Grim has put the Sunstone into Mount Horu. Raz, he's bashing up to get some height. Oh, messes it up once. There's no time to mess up anymore. Raz is getting there, but Grim's already inside watching the cutscene. He'll be on his door warp right now. One frame trick, you have to enter the door, the frame that the game loads back in. So we'll see how Grim's attempts go at this.
Oh, that is one miss, and he really can't afford any, but he still has some advantage over IMRaziel. He's going to try again. Grim has a setup. He counts 1, 2, 3, tap, and he's in on the third attempt, so he is going to begin his final escape. IMRaziel on the first attempt is going to be right behind him, and this actually will come down to execution on the final escape.
Okay, so Grim is maybe like 10 seconds ahead starting this escape. He has an easier time of it. He has lots of health. The one thing that's really concerning for both runners is the final room. Getting up past the Crow trigger without glide and double jump is not the easiest thing to do. You can grenade jump past it, you could bring the fish past it. We'll see what our runners opt for. And yeah, wow, here we go. Pillar room for Grim. Raz right behind him. They're on the elemental room now. This is another squeaky one. Oh, nice stall from Grim to grab that shot.
That was beautiful. What a great use of that technique there. IMRaziel is also making it in there with no problems. Grim taking the poison water swim, but with ultra defense, it is not that bad. He's going to bash the fish out of the water, so we...
is he fish strat for safety? He's fish stratting for safety.
Oh my god.
Hey, Raz, he's trying to skip the trigger. Oh, he didn't spawn Curl, but the fire is coming quickly. He's trying to... He skipped the Curl trigger! No,
but he fell back down! He took a death! Oh my gosh, this might be enough. Grim might have enough padding here that IMRaziel can't beat him, but if he grenade jumps at the end, it's always uncertain. Oh god, I don't know if it's enough time, Sigma, especially with that miss just...
Oh my god, the seconds are ticking away. Grenade jump saves about 40 seconds. I don't know if Raz is only 40 seconds behind that now. If he had gotten through there on first try and gotten a grenade jump, he would have been ahead of Grim, but now it's uncertain. Of course, the moment that Ori pulls out the feather is about where you land in the cutscene with the grenade jump, and Raz just starting through the water now. Grim's about to pull out that feather. I think it's Grim's win.
Grim has done it. This is... Holy crud. Raz gets the skip this time. He gets on the wall. That is a really cool strat, but unfortunately wasn't able to pull it off successfully first time. He's going to line up for his grenade jump, and it's just slightly too little. Grim will take a 1-0 lead in this series. My goodness.
Oh my gosh, and Raz, he nailed it on his second try up, got his Kuro skip, got up with no air mobility whatsoever, and he's now holding right. Grim finishes with a 26-20. Raz is going to be not even 30 seconds behind that, I think. Holy crap.
What a fantastic first game of this series. Grim really showing us some serious guts there, saying, I don't need these teleporters. I'm going to, make all the every single play he made, he just confidently said, right now I can't go left. I might have stomp, but that's not enough. I'm going to go farm just a little bit more. Bam. Got bash. That was enough. He got into Sorrow. He's just like, I know what I need to do. I'm just going to go up. I'm going to throw grenades. I'm going to get through this spike cave. And Raziel just having the little doubts, Sigma, just the little doubts about whether or not he could finish up. And that was enough for Grim to be able to come back.
Yeah, the thing I do want to point out is on his last escape there, Raz actually did go down to 1 health. So if he hadn't gone to Spirit Caverns to get that cell, he would have died again. But
oh my goodness.
Man, what a close race. For the longest time, it looked like Raz was ahead, but just Grim having that bash a bit earlier and having better stats. Holy smokes, dude.
Yeah, that was truly something, and if that's any indication of how the rest of this match will go, then it is going to be quite something to watch.
Yeah, that's for sure. We're going to go on a short break here, give our runners a bit of a breather before Game 2, and then we will be back with the second match where Raz is going to try to even the score and Grim is going to try to close it out 2-0.
Indeed. So stay tuned for that. We will be having Aiko and Madden Sane join you to commentate that. And for now, Sigma, thanks for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, Fula, and thanks, Skull and Spark, for tracking this. We'll be back in a little bit.
Stick around.
And I am the other person commentating today, which is redundant, but that's okay. Yeah, I think we're both still a little blown away by how close that game one was. It was insane. It was absolutely back and forth. We had Grim coming out to a bit of an early lead because Raz took some early deaths, and then we had Raz grabbing that back with his nice finding of 2 left side teleporters, only for it to go back to Grim in the end. That was a crazy, crazy race, and I can't wait to see how this game follows it up.
Yeah, with that coming down to between fish strats and grenade jump there with fish strats due to the death on IMRaziel's side, barely pulling it out, but one of the closest matches that we've seen this tournament, and just with a few seconds between is ridiculous for a randomizer tournament. It just shows how incredibly close both of these runners are, and it looks like we're kicking off. So, what are you hoping to see as the first progression pickup?
Man, I think so first progression pickup, I'm gonna have to say Swamp Teleporter, because let's just get one of those seeds. Let's settle in, enjoy our time here on Speed Gaming 2. Let's get a Swamp Teleporter, throw in some wall jump, some charge flame, and then let's just enjoy the right side of the map at a very leisurely, sedated pace that you sort of have to take on 1 energy, 3 health, wall jump, charge flame seeds. But we probably won't see that. How about you? Where's your money or hopes and dreams for a progression path?
I'm also hoping for a bit of a slow seed. We've just had pretty fast significance seed with the dash, the instant grenade jump. Maybe we go for a much slower route this time. Swamp TP, maybe Grotto TP down to the map stone pick up, and having to go back through Grotto 5 or so times. Could be good to see.
Yeah, forced Grotto revisit. I'm still hoping, I was really hoping we'd see a forced Misty revisit at least once, because Standard can do that. In fact, Standard can actually give you a double forced Misty revisit. It's really rare, but it could happen. We haven't seen that yet in the tournament. We really are running out of games to see that forced Misty revisit. So I'm really hoping that is something that we see eventually.
Yeah. So looks like we've got 2 keystones on either side, so be heading down into left Glades area. We've got a 3rd keystone even, so we might see an extremely early Spirit Caverns if they, or at least opening the door on the way down if they get another one.
Yeah, and we saw both these runners check fake flippers. They found an energy cell. There's that 2nd keystone, so yeah, we'll probably see them open the door. So both our runners know where to find a second energy cell at fake flippers, which is really nice. Just having 2 energy early game can be a lot nicer than having 1, but they'll probably wait because they don't want to take the time loss to the altar until either they have a mega health, more health, or clean water, and that is Bash for Mapstone 1. So that is not going to be that very slow seed, at least not necessarily. Bash is pretty fast, but we could still have a Nightmare on our hands. It is too early to say.
Well, with this, with Spirit Caverns access, the first half of Spirit Caverns and 2 keystones and Bash does give them access to that with a bit of an awkward Frankie roll. Not too difficult, but certainly something we want to be doing.
Speaking of awkward, Raz actually takes some damage and falls down. You cannot get back up past that barrier he fell down without wall jump, because you're supposed to come down here in the base game and wall jump back up. But because he probably won't find wall jump down here, it means he's not going to get access to this entire loop that Grim is checking until he goes back around. So that's pretty annoying and a bit of a time loss. But Grim hasn't found much here just yet. He's found an energy cell, which I think means there's 4 on the map if you include the one at Fake Flippers. Man, there's wall jump.
To see that.
Yeah, Grim will be relieved. Raz is going to be annoyed when he finds it because of this backtracking that he's had to do. There's not really anything you can do. He didn't have a save nearby, and it would have cost him more time to just abandon it. But, oh man, that's really going to feel unfortunate for Raz, because he can't even check the energy cell that Grim's about to check.
Yeah, but he does get to check that ability cell a little bit early. Unfortunately, it's just an ability cell, so not getting an advantage there. It's a pretty harsh time loss for IMRaziel. Still not deciding to open up the Spirit Caverns door, maybe forgetting that he has that option. Would save him having to wait for the door animation later. Well, he's gonna go the opposite route now to the way that Grim went through this. That's gonna make it a lot easier for him.
Yeah, this is nice because wall jumps here, he doesn't have to take the caution that Grim did. One thing that Raz might be doing is thinking he knows that there's 4 energy on the map. He doesn't have it all yet, but because he knows how to get a 4th energy from fake flippers, what he can do is just head through Death Gauntlet, and if that's the case, he would want to save keystones for heading potentially to the wall jump tree or double jump tree. Spirit Cavern is nice, but it doesn't unlock a tree, and if he can get to more trees, find out clues faster, that might be what he's thinking.
Yeah, they might be thinking maybe not wanting to go anywhere near Spirit Caverns, because it looks like both of them have decided that BRB is what they'd rather search right now, so they're not sure. If they're not sure where they are going to end up, because it might also be the case that they might decide that if they do go through Boulder Escape, they might try the Frankie sequence break to get into Grotto instead, and save them having to do any energy tricks with the door, the Death Gauntlet door, and going up through that way. But it's still not anywhere near logic because that 4th energy is locked behind clean water right now.
Yeah, but I think if you're in this situation, you might be thinking, well, I have 3 energy, and I know where a 4th energy is, so as soon as either one more energy cell or clean water shows up, then all of the right side is in logic through that Death Gauntlet. So why didn't I just take a sneak peek here? Because it's not like this is out of logic, but it's not very far out of logic. And we see Raz showing off why Double Bash is a useful movement technique with very few limitations, as he is just going to ride a shot all the way up, skipping that altar out, completely ignoring the platforms.
That's going to save him a lot of time on what Grim's just done, of having to ride up the platforms. It's going to help to close the gap of falling down to the wall jump tree.
Yeah, and we see another health cell. So our runners are up to 5 health now. That can be really nice. We saw earlier Raz had some trouble with health, took a couple of deaths early game because he did not have enough health for the lower BRB area he was in, and then the same thing in Misty. So early health is really nice for that. Oh, let's see. Grim is going to be doing the cutscene skip. He prefers that to the stack is usually what he says, but that save looked yeah, okay, no, that's the skip.
Yeah, I assume IMRaziel is going to try and going for the stack instead, which is slightly faster, but it's only about 10 seconds faster, so it's not that much of a big difference. The main difference just being that you can get to this map stone entirely for free instead, and not have to go back for it.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely only a 10-second difference, but on the other hand, our final times last race were also incredibly close. They were, I don't remember if it was within 10 seconds exactly, but every little thing counts, and that definitely has to be weighing on both these runners' minds, especially IMRaziel, considering how that last race ended for him. Definitely is probably pretty nervous about anything that cost him even a little bit of time.
Interesting decision from IMRaziel is deciding that probably not that he wants to keep the 10 XP, but more that he wants to head towards. Oh, it looks like he's going to Death Gauntlet, not Spirit Caverns. I thought he might be trying to go for the Spirit Caverns, but he's grabbing that energy cell. He's saying, I don't want to bother with Boulder Escape. There's only one pickup down there that's in logic, and Grim's just checked in. It's a mega health, so I may as well just go to Grotto instead of going up through Spirit Caverns, which is the intended progression from this point.
Yeah, I really like the skip from Raz. It's the Boulder Escape is only one pickup. There are a lot of things still left in logic, so the odds of that being like the unique locked progression was really low. This entire section Grim's doing, it takes a while, and Raz knows how to get to Grotto. It's a high-density area with trees. What more could you want, really? I think it makes a lot of sense. And oh man, he is rewarded finding Charge Flame there. Means he now has plant access, and that is going to be a nice pickup that Grim may either find quickly if we discover that this was the force progression, or not for a while if we discover that there was some other route and it takes Grim a while to make his way to Death Gauntlet. Raz is having a little bit of trouble trying to use this Frankie to check the Death Gauntlet roof plant, decides against it. And
I think he's just going, he wants to check the bottom one first.
Oh,
he
yeah,
could,
okay,
he could alternatively try. I think he's desperately trying to keep the bottom one alive, but he could technically try and, you know, wait, just do what he was doing originally, which is just bash it out of the stomp animation after it completed it. But unfortunately, he got hit by the Frankie on the first time that he did that.
Yeah. Okay, so we actually just saw Grim do a Frankie walk to check the pickup on the way to Death Gauntlet. Does not go in, but he does is only rewarded with, I believe, a keystone. So not much of a find there. And I think we're gonna go see him. Oh, he's gonna check the long swim now. This actually could be really good if clean water is what provides that energy cell. Oh, it's just experience, but you know, it could have been good. And I think we'll probably see him grab that fourth energy before he continues into Glades, which is going to be what he does. He's not going to take Raz's approach.
Yeah, though since IMRaziel has Charge Flame, he'll be able to be checking plants, and he could get access to Charge Flame Tree as well. If Charge Flame Tree is where the intended progression is, then IMRaziel could skip out going all the way over the top, going past Grove Teleporter if he wanted to just go straight to the tree. But we'll have to
that's
see
true.
from Grim where the progression is.
That's
TP.
Oh man, that's all right. So everything on the right side is basically in logic now. In fact, because of that swamp TP and their ability to go over and around the Ginso tree area, they can make it to the Grotto Teleporter, and from the Grotto Teleporter, they can also make it to where Charge Flame was. So now we are all caught up on logic. Progression was in Spirit Caverns, and even though it wasn't energy, we now know how they were expected to have gotten everywhere that they've gotten, every pickup we've seen.
Yeah, and that means that what IMRaziel is doing right now, even though he did a sequence break to get here, is in logic, though IMRaziel doesn't know that's the case. But it's a fairly good play to assume that Grotto would come into logic pretty quickly with what they had, with only needing one more energy cell or just any other skill to get in.
Yeah, Raziel has a bit of a trouble with a set of spikes that are designed not to be passable without double jump, but you can get over there if you get up. A little annoying, but he is able to check that ability cell. You have to go over the top if you have bash as your verticality, because there's nothing to bash from the other side. But all he finds for his troubles is a Spirit Flame upgrade, which he does not think is worth. So he is just going to head to the double jump tree, and this will get us our first clue, I believe. So that's exciting. In fact, we're gonna get. Oh man, Raz finds climb, which is nice, I guess. If they find charge jump, that could be a big deal. But for now, it's not much. An extra double jump from the double jump tree, and the Gumon seal is again in Ginso. Nice.
Oh, I like this decision from Grim. He's doing a quick save anyway here, so he can do some blind movement during the tree and just pass straight through a wall, as it doesn't exist during the time that the tree animation's going on. So he can just walk straight through it instead. Saves him having to go all the way back around, altar, teleport back to the Grove Teleporter, and go down. It's a big time save for such a simple trick.
Yeah, I think that trick you showed off in the I don't remember if it was singles or doubles, but in the Swiss stage, and then suddenly everyone was doing it because it's so smart and really nice. We've actually seen a couple strats like that just get like disseminated into the meta just from them being shown off the tournament, and that's always a really cool part of these kinds of things, especially in a randomizer where you don't just have one set of things you need to do. You want to have a whole playbook of strats.
Yeah, and how all of the strats just get passed down from other people. Like I found the strat of the getting through the door from Hydra. So just all of these strats just being shared around the community is a great thing about Randomizer. Just passing on a bunch of knowledge of just crazy random things that you can do to save a couple seconds here and there, or maybe to get to a certain pickup that you'd never imagined possible with whatever skills.
Yeah. All right. So now we are seeing them move into right side map search mode. Raz has charge flames, so that is going to be a huge boon here. He is going to be able to check plants. Grim finds Stomp from the health cell in Horu Fields. That is a nice pickup, or a very nice find. It is going to give him the opportunity to get screamed at by a bird here, which everybody loves. Really the highlight of my rando play personally is when I get to get screamed at by a bird. So here we go. Bird arrives. Screams. I did not actually
Flies
time
away.
that with the scream. Unlucky. But yeah. That stomp pickups can be really nice. However, I think Raz is probably going to get it before he goes through too many things that would be gated by Stomp. And Grim, however, is going to have to revisit, because once he finds that charge flame, he will have to come back to these areas for these plants, and that is going to feel not so great. I don't think we... Oh, that is a water vein. I'm going to interrupt myself. Raz finds the water vein right near the Ginso tree. I wonder if we'll see him just... Actually, no, we will not see him headed to Ginso because he lacks verticality. That is a nice find, and it might be a little while before Grim gets there. Or
Yeah,
Grim is
but it looks
there
like
right
Grim is heading in that direction, so I would be expecting for him to get it reasonably quickly and not be too much of an issue. It wasn't in too obscure a location, but Stomp, on the other hand, with it being on Horrorfield's health cell, it's a much less commonly checked pickup by runners, as often they just consider it far too slow to bother with. So we might see that IMRaziel might just go, well, that pickup's way too slow to go for. Or some runners even like to only bother with it when you have Stomp, which makes it even more awkward as if Stomp is actually on that pickup.
Yeah, all right. So Raz didn't continue all the way up to Ginso, which makes a lot of sense because he had some more pickups back down here to check, and he also is going to head into Swamp. I really like this. He's got everything he needs for Swamp entry. He can check a bunch of, maybe not a bunch of things here. Finds Dash. That's huge. Oh, man, and Grim ult Ard, so it might be a while before Grim heads back for that. And just like that, Raz is now in an incredible situation in the second race.
Yeah, Dash is such a massive pickup, and not only is Dash so helpful for just moving fast, but very, very awkward possible go mode for Raz here if he does decide to go for it, which I highly doubt, but it is possible now. So now it's just a case of making it easier to finish the game rather than making it possible at all.
Yeah, Grim goes through the Death Gauntlet, finds that Charge Flame. Because Dash was in a plant, he actually couldn't have gotten it until now. But heading back and rechecking the Swamp Loop for plants, I don't know, it might be a while before he does that. And until he does, he is going to be playing catch-up and ult. So, yeah, I think we're probably going to see him check plants around here. And, oh man, is he heading to Hollow Grove plants right away, or is he just checking above the teleporter? I guess we'll see. This could be huge. If he makes a beeline for where we know Dash to be, yeah, that wouldn't have made any sense at all. But it would have been a good play. Is he? He's killing this.
Sure. Maybe he's going. Maybe he's thinking he can get the what Grim has called the Sicily plant and this upper XP as well. Just getting an extra few pickups, but they're not the essential things that he needs, unfortunately. Of course, there's no way for him to know that.
I mean, we could see a Sunstone or like a charge jump in these. There's a lot of stuff. Raz has checked some of the stuff, but there's a lot still unchecked in the general area. I think we're probably going to now see Raz check out the plants in the Hollow Grove main room area. We haven't seen those yet, and now we will also find out at around now if Raz is going to end up with Stomp, because this is the branch point where he has to make that decision whether he wants to grab that Helso or whether it's too slow. He's been pretty thorough so far, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him grab it.
Yeah, we might be seeing IMRaziel just trying to head over to where the stomp pickup is now. Let's see if he goes for it. It looks like he is going to go for it, so that's going to mean that IMRaziel is going to be not only caught up with skills, but also ahead with a dash pickup as well. So just be quite a bit ahead of Grimelios right now.
Yeah, he's also 2 trees up on Grim. He's only 1 tree from the ability to get that second hint, and it could be the Water Vein hint, which would be pretty funny because we would just be in Sunstone mystery mode. But if they find the Sunstone clue, they'll have all they need to know what general areas they have to go to, and that could be a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
Right.
the Grotto teleporter is, of course, in Grotto, so no chance of that being useful. But it does seem like that the play from IMRaziel to go for an early Grotto is really paying off for him, of saving him so much time.
I think we're about to see Raz hit this teleporter and take a bash ramp Ginso, which would be definitely be a sign of not being worried about go mode. Oh, nope, he's just going to teleport out. I am a liar. I was pretty hyped for dash ramp Ginso, but it wouldn't make a lot of sense, honestly, in this position. There are a lot of other places he can go that are in logic, and he doesn't know where the Sunstone is. And if the Sunstone's in Ginso and you go into Ginso without, well, I mean, I guess Bash makes the rest of it like doable, but I think before the 6th tree, it does not make a lot of sense. And I'd like that we're seeing Raz now go for the grenade tree,
which is indeed in logic with Stomp and Dash as well. So he can just go to grenade tree reasonably comfortably as well. So this is a really, really sensible play from IMRaziel. Gets him a tree as well, so he's heading towards go mode, getting closer to that, to the amount of trees that he needs. Unfortunately, he just double bashes the Baneling, but the Baneling does not like being double bashed when it's on the ground for some reason. It only works.
Yeah, Banelings are made of Velcro, so when they roll, they stick to the ground, and you need like a dedicated bash to get them off the ground. Otherwise, they just stay stuck. It's really awkward. And why was that Baneling still alive? Did it, I guess, after the bashing, just de-aggroed?
I think it must have despawned somehow, I guess, because
Either
it was
despawned or
catapulted
de-aggroed.
into a laser.
All right, well, this game is a game we understand very well. It's predictable and reliable, and mechanics. Meanwhile, Grim has climb, gets him one of the skills that he doesn't have that Raz does. Not the one he would want, though. So, everyone watch the right. We're about to find out what that clue is. Oh man, we are in Sunstone mystery mode, ladies and gentlemen. Runners are going to have to find another 3 trees before they figure out where the Sunstone is, which means they will have to activate either the bash tree or the climb tree, both in those areas you cannot really backtrack easily in. So we'll see which they end up opting for. It looks like that is a Ginso from IMRaziel, or clearing out around swamp area, but I think Ginso would be why you would teleport here now. What do you think he's going to do?
I'd be surprised to see a Ginso play right now. Maybe he's thinking Horror Fields, perhaps? Or heading towards like Lower Grove area? Looks like he's going for the left
Spider
Grove
Lake,
area. Spider Lake
No, this
area.
makes more sense.
Still quite a lot of pickups that he can get around here. With some good double bashes, you can get almost all of the pickups besides the grenade locked ones.
Yeah, and if he really wanted to, he could stomp that peg, do a bit of damage boosting, and swim into the Death Gauntlet roof. It looks like he is not going to opt to do that now. There's only one pickup there to check, and he'll want to check it later when he gets charge jump, if he checks it at all. Of course, accessing it that way can be in logic. He has to take a quick death because he killed that spider and needs a shot to get up through this way. Those spikes deal infinite damage, so you cannot damage boost. Grim is heading to Valley Entry. It's the first we've seen of that area, and finds the Sunstone at the Valley Entry plant. That's pretty big. It's unlikely that Raz is going to miss that unless in some freak chance we see Raz pick up a left side teleporter while he's over here.
Yeah, but then again, Raz might also decide that he's not like going to search for a lot of pickups. If he goes here, he might just decide he wants to just go for the trees. Maybe he's feeling confident with dash ramp Ginso, going for that. Who knows what he might do if he does that. It's possible that he could miss it, but I think I agree with you what you're saying there. It's very unlikely that he would. But maybe IMRaziel is heading there now.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to head left, but do it thoroughly and not miss anything on the way. And if that's the case, I think we are just going to see him head through here. He's probably going to open up. No, he decides against it. He's not going to skip this cutscene. Very interesting. He's worried potentially about having to teleport back here, is what that means. Meanwhile, we are on the left going to see Grim make his way into the valley area. He has stomp and bash, so he does not have to do anything difficult here, besides avoid death at the hands of birds. He's not found anything too important besides that sunstone, which is a big deal, you might say. And he is not going to attempt to grab the cell from Fast Stompless. He is instead just going to grab it now. I like that decision. Stompless can be spooky, especially since the normal setup that people know for Stompless requires dash, or not requires, but like it's a lot more comfortable and the timing's a lot more familiar to people with dash. So we'll see what he does here if he goes for Stompless at all. I think he's just going to head over there and stomp the peg. Raz is checking pickups in Valley Entrance. I assume we are about to see him. Yep, there is the Sunstone for Raz. He has all his dungeon keys. He just needs to get whatever skills he is comfortable with to finish the game. That's also true for Grim. Grim also has the Water Vein.
Yeah, so this is just a case. This is going to come down to a question of what do the runners consider to be go mode, and how much will they search before they maybe just go, well, I've searched for long enough. I'm up against a scary opponent here. I can't afford to waste time. Oh, is IMRaziel going to go for the?
Yeah, I think he's going to definitely skip it. This is really good for him. Because he has charge jump, he can rocket jump up here and save a bunch of time. This is great play from IMRaziel. Abusing basically a really cool strategy. You go through 2 cutscenes at the same time and get into a state where you can't save, but also the instant kill plane that stops you from progressing through this area without stomp is not there anymore. So now he can just head up here, stomp these rocks, and he'll get his feather tree a little bit after Grim, but this is his tree 7 to Grim's tree 6.
Yeah, but I've just gotta hope that IMRaziel will remember that he needs to reload the game to get rid of the save breaking, because otherwise that could cause him problems. Nobody's ever forgotten that before, definitely not. So I'm sure IMRaziel will not forget that. Hopefully.
Yeah, he is going to get the autosave here. And oh man, that frog is right there. Okay, he does remember, instantly reloads. And he is going to, I think, he's going to grab that teleporter. Really nice, smart check. And I think we're going to see him drop down here, check the pickups, or maybe, nope, I lied. He is just going to head straight up towards Sorrow, it looks like.
Yeah, he's skipping out on pickups in Valley at this point, so maybe he's decided that this is the point in which he goes, okay, I really need to just go for it now. Maybe he's thinking, I'm a game down. I can't be afford to be taking risks. I need to just go for it. That's maybe what he's thinking.
Yeah, I mean, taking risks, like taking this go mode is a risk, but if it's one he's confident with, you definitely want to play more aggressively when you're down, because you have less room to work with, I think. So it makes a lot of sense. Oh man, he kills that frog because he wants to make a save now that he's broken in and done Sorrow Bash. I do really like that. Like, some safe play when you're down makes a lot of sense. Taking saves after you've done complicated tricks. Oh no, that's a bit of an oof. Oh no, he's grabbing this frog because he needed to get through this room.
He doesn't have the energy. Oh, yeah, this is very awkward. He's probably going to want to go for the level up here to get the energy, or he's just going to try and climb up. I'm not sure.
All right, let's see how he decides to go through this. Yeah, I think he is going to go for tumbleweed strats. He gets an energy drop from that frog, so that's really nice. He's going to be able to give him some extra energy, and now he just needs to sort of carefully, with this rock, get past this laser, and then he can take it on a journey. He'll just roll it over the laser, and then he can jump over, saves the tumbleweed position, unlike some things. He's got 9 keystones. That's really important.
Yeah, having loads of keystones here means he isn't going to have to mess around with the T-jeeping with the boulder.
Yeah.
So this is such a difficult strat to get.
Oh man, Grim did that Death Gauntlet roof check I mentioned earlier and finds double jump there. That's going to be really nice for him. I'm not sure how much of a difference it's going to make, but definitely is going to make his movement a lot smoother and a lot safer. He is really going to enjoy that. Oh man, Raz didn't save at the top with that boulder, but did get through first try. Very nice demonstration of that mastery of that incredibly difficult and scary movement. He was, I think, only one hit from death before that save, but he has no problems and is going to be able to get his 8th tree. Only 2 remain.
Yeah, Raz is building up quite a significant tree lead here. Once he gets the climb tree, it'll pretty much come down to whether or not he just goes for the dash ramps. Because the significant thing about Grim finding double jump is it means he doesn't have to bother with any form of dash ramping. He can just cleanly go through Ginso, and that is huge. Especially as we saw that Grim had issues with the dash ramps in the game that brought him here, and that was the significant factor that brought him here. So maybe he probably really didn't want to have to deal with any form of dash ramps again. But it's going to come down to what IMRaziel can do with them, or whether or not IMRaziel decides that he's not confident enough and he needs to search. And if he does decide that he needs to search, that could be what Grim needs to get back in the game.
All right, 30 minutes. Grim has found his dash on the way to Swamp. Definitely might be a little worried that that Raz grabbed that earlier, which is unfortunately the case. He's got 5 trees to grab to Raz's 2, but yeah, because he has that double jump, we're just going to have to see how much time that saves him, how long it takes Raz to get through that strat, and whether Raz also is comfortable with this specific escape. He's been skipping pickup, so he's probably at least somewhat comfortable. Oh man, this is a little bit of deja vu for Raz. Last game, we also saw him having some trouble with this room without Glide. He is just immediately going to start it up under SA. He can take one more hit than he did last time, but he does not want to worry. He makes 2 saves, and he gets through. Does one more save at the bottom. That is going to put him further out of the way for Ultra Defense, but I think he is not too worried about that. He's going to use this frog to bypass the long way around. Saves some time. Oh, saves less time when you get hit by him, though.
He's getting a lot of use out of this extra save that he placed at the bottom.
Yeah, definitely.
He's used it about 4 or 5 times now.
Oh, no. One more, it looks like.
IMRaziel, you can do this.
This is a really obnoxious strategy to be doing at 1 health. All right, he decides, says, all right, that's not for me. I'm not about that life. I know when I'm beaten. I know what a sunk cost is, and he is going to get to the climb tree. Definitely been there, understand that feel. And he is now going to be making his way to Ginso. Grim is going to get there first, though. So now we are going to see if there's anything in the Ginso tree, and shortly, I guess we'll also see if Raz feels comfortable going for that. It looks like he is. I can't imagine him skipping all the pickups he's been skipping if he felt like he needed something else to do the Ginso tree.
Oh, and it looks like Grim either has extra double jump or triple jump now, so that is just going to make all of his movement so much more comfortable to use, so much smoother as well. He's just going to save him frames everywhere, and those frames are going to add up to a significant amount of time, maybe even enough to catch up to Raz, depending on how much trouble Raz has here. And it looks like Raz is just going for the Ginso, so I expect he's going to go for the dash ramps. We'll have to see how confident he is with this, and maybe if he knows the setup, we should be able to see pretty quickly whether or not he's going to be able to do this.
He's coming, the way he's walking, he seems pretty confident with his movement, so I think he probably knows the setup. And yeah, it looks like he's getting ready for it. Grim does have extra double jump. Both players do because it was on the double jump tree. Of course, Raz has not seen much use out of it. And we are going to see. All right, Raz is not getting. Is having a little trouble with this first ramp. He's been close several times, but this game does not reward you very much for close, especially with wall jump. You have to spam jump and try and get your jump off. He's got. Oh, he is having trouble with this. This is.
Yeah, that's not the. I think you can do it from the position that Raz is at, but I prefer. I tend to use a much further forward position. So I know that I've seen Muffin use a much further back position. So maybe that's the one that Raz is trying. But it doesn't look like he is too confident with this trick, and that is going to cost him a lot of time.
Could be really bad.
Starting to go through the Ginso tree, go through the top half of the Ginso tree, and he finds Grenade. So if he finds a charge jump, that could help him out a lot with that final grenade jump, saving him a significant amount of time.
I mean, Bash Grenade also gives him unbounded verticality. He might not like doing it for movement, but it can be really useful, especially even in the final escape. You can use that as an alternative to the Kuro skip, an alternative mechanism to Kuro skip. But man, we are Grim is through the Ginso tree, and oh man, Raz still hasn't made it up onto the first platform.
Oh, never mind. Now he has.
As I say that, he's up here. But oh man,
does he know? Yes, he knows the second position. Okay, wonderful.
He gets up the second one, which I have been told is harder. He's not home free yet. He needs to get through this platforming, and this isn't incredibly hard, but it is incredibly stressful, especially when you've spent that long just filling rabbit. I really like that he's going for. Oh no!
Oh, he falls all the way down. He's gonna have to do this all over again. But has Raz learned from his mistakes here? Does he now know the position? It looks like he's familiar with the setup for the second log, which is a lot less precise than the first one.
Okay, he's up again.
Up. The position's looking good. Yes, he's back up again.
All right, come on, you can do
this. This.
I believe. Oh, what was that movement?
That was he managed to dash ramp up, and I think he did a dash glide on it as well. Okay, he's made it up. IMRaziel, please save.
Okay,
yes.
he's safe. Okay, I think looking at this, he just needs to get to the dash tree. Grim still needs to get to the charge jump tree, which is farther up. Oh man, Raz.
And the climb tree as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this is good for Raz. I hope he can get this health cell up here, but no, he decides to skip it actually. Grim, Raz might not get the grenade that Grim found because I don't think Raz is going to want to check too many things here, and I think that makes a lot of sense. So it's really just going to come down to, is Raz confident with this escape? And I have to imagine he is. This is not a bad skill set at all for the escape. He can just do fish strats, doesn't have to worry about going for a grenade jump. He doesn't have ultra defense, which is a little spooky, but he does have the 7 health that he wanted last game for doing the escape with a similar skill set, so he should be good.
Yeah, I doubt he'll have.
Oh, that's a huge deal. Raz wasn't checking any pickups when he went into Misty, not even the quick ones, and as a result, he missed out on that charge jump that Grim just found. Not only would that have made what Raz just did free, but it would have helped a lot in the final escape, and it means that Grim has access to grenade jumps. This could be pretty scary for Raz. He now has real time pressure on him because Grim has much better movement options. But Raz just needs to do the final escape. Grim still needs to do all of Sorrow, and yeah, it'll be a lot easier with charge jump, but it won't. Unless Raz has significant trouble with the final escape, I would expect to see this go into a game 3.
Yeah, I think that this is going to come down to whether or not Grim. I don't think Grim can just catch up on his own right now. I think it's going to come down to Raz's. If Raz does make any mistakes in the final escape, if he takes any deaths, then maybe 1 or 2 deaths could even be enough to make the difference here. I think it would have to be more than a few, unless he also has a bit of trouble with door warp. Grim still does need to. He's like a little over halfway through Misty. He needs to spend about a minute, maybe a bit more, to get up to C jump. He doesn't have that teleporter. He will have to do Sorrow Bash. He doesn't have Glide. He does have Climb Charge Jump, which is really nice, but it is not necessarily going to be enough. Raz does not have trouble with his Horror Fields approach. He can't grenade jump, but he can do all sorts of nice sneaky bashes. He's gonna rocket jump off of the Baneling and then charge dash over. With charge dash efficiency, and what is that, 8 energy? He has 16 charge dashes in the tank, which is a nice place to be. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be running out of energy in this final escape. He should just be able to steamroll through this escape pretty easily. Hopefully just be able to just finish up and bring this to the game 3. I'm sure we're all wanting to see.
Yeah, I think the only concern is maybe if he has a bit of trouble with the fishes, if he's going for fish strats. Or if there's something I'm forgetting that's actually really hard without any verticality, but I think he is going to be good. Grim does get through Sorrow Bash, gets the rocket jump up. He's setting up with the frog because it's literally impossible to remember climb, charge, jump. Oh, that is incredible for Raz, actually. Kuro brings a health cell, which is going to add a bit of safety, might just be exactly what he needs for that final swim. And this room can be a bit tricky with these skills. You have to bash straight up and charge, dash over. He is fine. He is through. Now he just needs to get onto a shot from that elemental. That elemental shoots really fast, so it's not that big of a deal. Gets through, gets over, needs to make it to the swim without taking any fire damage here. But as long as he's careful, he is going to be fine. Gets through, gets into the swim, has plenty of health, can do set up for fish strats, even take a few extra ticks if he wants. But he's out with 3 extra health, so he could have done this on 6 health. He sets up for the charge dash, and he is through. Raz is going to finish in first place and bring this to a game 3.
Yeah, meanwhile on Grimelios' screen, we're going to be seeing Grim heading to the final escape. But as he gets to Horror Door, he's most likely going to see IMRaziel take the win. It's probably going to be a bit disheartening for him, as he thinks it's so close. But
I mean, it was so close, honestly.
It is. It certainly is. And with the grenade jump as well, that Grim has access to, it's even closer than it looks. If Grim would have tried to go for that, which I'm not sure he might have tried. He might not even tried for the grenade jump, as we saw in the last seed, even though he had access to it, didn't try for it.
I think we might see it, and the reason I think we might see it is I think the reason he didn't do it is because he didn't want to. He was worried about spawning Kuro, and he didn't have glide or double jump, and didn't want to do the grenade setup Raz was doing. He does have double jump this time, which means that with quad jump he can. I don't know if he has triple or quad. He has at least triple from the double jump tree, but with quad jump, you can very easily despawn Kuro after the charge jump, avoid falling back into that hitbox and getting up on the right wall. And so I think we will see him go for a grenade jump here. And as a reminder, Grim does not look at the SRL window, so he doesn't know, and he will not know until I think either he has finished or until he's holding right the outcome of this match. But oh man, this is the second game we've seen him struggle with door warp. So he probably is feeling a bit of nerves. This trick is definitely the kind of thing that it's a 1-frame trick. It's the window is during load in. Some runners spam it, some runners time it. But if you're stressed out, nervous, this can be a trick that can cost you a fair bit of time, especially because after you miss the first one, it just really starts to mess with you. You're thinking, oh, am I pressing too early? Am I pressing too late? Should I make an adjustment? Should I just go with what I know? He gets through. He is going to be on the escape, but he is going to be too late to beat IMRaziel, who has a final time of 40 minutes, 59 seconds, and 88 centiseconds.
Yeah, it's
the unit that people use.
Grim with a very different final escape to the one that IMRaziel had to do with the access to charge jump and grenade jump. He's going to find this a lot easier to do. Doesn't have to deal with any the awkwardness of the start of the escape that Raz had to deal with, or you have to do a dash glide into a charge dash in order to actually get up to the first platform.
And there we see him charge jumps over the that Kuro cutscene trigger I was talking about, is able to use triple jump to easily avoid it, and now he's going to set up for his grenade jump, and there he goes. Looks good. He is through. He's going to be finishing up probably with a low 43, which is very good. Less than 2 minutes between him and Raz, but it is not going to be enough, and we are going to get a game 3 in this match, and I cannot wait to see it.
Nor can I. This is such good. Both races here have been incredibly close between the two of them. Maybe we'll see a game 3 as close as these two have been.
Well, I mean, what game 3 should want to do is to make things as close as possible, be close to the difference of time between game 1 and game 2, so somewhere in like the minute something region, I think would make sense. Or we could get a frame tie. I would also be okay with a frame tie, but we don't know what we're going to get, and we are going to be with you viewers finding out, because this is going to be all from us. We're going to be taking an 8-minute break between now and the next game in this best of 3. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, a quick shout out to our Truck, Iced, and Skull Blockup, and our restreamer Griffs.
And thank you to you as well, Ico, for commentating with me on this game.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Always a pleasure. Stay tuned for more Ori action. We also have the finals coming up after this, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everyone, to Game 3 of the third place match between Grimelios and IMRaziel in the Oriental Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament 2018. Both of these games previous to this Game 3 have been really close, so I'm really glad that I get to commentate this one. I'm Sparring and I'm joined by Rory. Hello, Rory.
Hey, Sparak, how's it going? I have to say, I'm really looking forward to this Game 3. If Games 1 and 2 were anything to go by, this is going to be a pretty exciting finish to this third place match.
Oh yeah, let's hope this one will be just as close as the previous games. Like for these randomizer finals, actually the double finals also were very close, all of these finals. Like it's only a third place match, but it is still somewhat of a final. So really exciting to see these games just being that close with these highly skilled runners just doing these games.
Yeah, and I think I'm really hoping that we get a seed that sort of showcases that this is such a close matchup and that we do have an opportunity to see sort of like something as maybe as close as that first seed, but with opportunities for divergence and showing off their different styles.
Now, interesting, of course, as always, will be what kind of skills we maybe get. These, like the last two seeds, they have both had the bash skill, not really too early, but they have had bash. The game is finishable without bash. Maybe we won't see bash in this seed, is my prediction.
Well, I have to say, and at least in terms of skills, I think, at least for Grimelios' sake, it'd be nice to not see a bash grenade seed, because I think if we do see that, then Raz has a chance to just run away early on.
And he has been pretty lucky with not having bash grenade seeds so far, right? Like these seeds have been starting out with either grenade or bash pretty early, I think, both of these. But so far, no real bash grenade seeds, so that's nice. And the first pickup is also just a keystone, so probably early left blades.
We'll have to see. Obviously, this mandatory energy cell, but I think early left blades is kind of the sort of the easiest option, but it's by no means the only one. We'll just have to see what this early game has in store.
But there is the second keystone, so it's not like we don't care about the next two pickups, but it's just nice to know that the door can be opened right now. So maybe Blackwood Burrows will not be available before opening the door. Maybe the skill will hide somewhere around in Glades. We still don't really know where the seed is going, though. We'll just have to wait for that. Maybe there will be a teleport or something like that. Can be pretty trolly.
It's certainly possible, but I think that even if that were to show up, we would likely just see this play straight down to wall jump, because that is the sort of the highest density area that's easy to access.
Also, just get that tree out of the way, I guess, is always something you could do. A third keystone, actually, vanilla keystone. So maybe fourth keystone that would open up the Spirit Caverns area, but they couldn't reach anything there yet. It is a mapstone.
And I actually think that that's almost better in a way, because that mapstone gives you the option of just making that play straight to the map altar. You don't have to gamble on one of three options to try to get that map.
And also you kind of don't, like some runners would probably choose to go for this more to the left side pickup here in hopes of finding a mapstone before going to the pedestal. Now that they do have a mapstone, they don't need to go there first, and they can, quote unquote, take that little time save right now. So maybe there's the progression on the mapstone actually with them finding it somewhere around here. We will find out shortly. Oh, experience, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we take that. That's a level up. It's, one of those things that we need to get pretty early on, and wall jump as well. So pretty much everything in this area is open to them. I wonder if we're going to see a play back towards Spirit Caverns, or if they'll just go straight down.
Looks like both of them are going to the left side. Now with wall jump, they can clear this area that IMRaziel is going through right now, and then probably wall jump after that. Maybe Spirit Caverns, maybe Blackwood Burrows. Like they have one level already, they can skip the cutscene. We will see what they choose to do. But having found keystones probably means that something interesting could be in Spirit Caverns. Okay, that's a lot of keystones.
So I'm wondering if the seed is trying to send us through Spirit Caverns up towards Charge Flame and Hollow Grove.
Yeah, that's kind of what I am thinking here. I'm getting these charge flame tree vibe, something like that, through the spirit caverns. Maybe another keystone on wall jump will seal the deal for good. But then again, there's also lots of pickups in spirit caverns.
Yeah, and even if that does become a path that's open, it's not necessarily the only path as well. There's still quite a lot of room for other paths to open up. We still have 4 pickups in spirit caverns, 3, 4 in Blackroot, plus these down here.
Ooh, double jump for IMRaziel on the right side. Was the energy cell just left of the wall jump tree. Now IMRaziel is choosing to go into the Blackwood Burrows area. Grimelios has also chose to alt R, so I'm expecting him to also go down to the Blackwood Burrows area before heading to Spirit Caverns. I think they try to get that time saved by not having to revisit Spirit Caverns in case there's nothing really here.
Yeah, I think that is a really, really sort of heads-up play right now of saying we have 5 keystones and wall jump, double jump. Like, it's incredibly likely that the seed wants us to get through Spirit Caverns as progression. So if that's the case, then we might as well do Blackroot first so that we don't have to do that revisit.
So far, no different routing decision for the runners. This Blackwood Burrows area will be just as slow as every Blackwood Burrows visit you kind of doing without finding as many skills as we have found in game 1, I think, where they had a pretty fast Blackwood Burrows, even though they were exactly at 5 minutes in the seed, just like they are now.
Yeah, double jump certainly makes this area feel a lot nicer to go through. I'll say that much. And there's that keystone that we need in order to guarantee going through Spirit Caverns. So we'll see whether or not that becomes the progression. There's still a few more pickups available in Blackroot, though.
Yeah, there's the map stone, the tree itself, the ability cell, and the XP before the boulder escape, I think. Oh, and also the XP on top here. So it should be 5 more pickups. That's actually lots of pickups, which could hold something like Storm. And then immediately with... okay, no. Does that put something in logic? No. Probably the laser pickups, right?
Yeah, I think that does open up the lower laser pickups. Or at least, maybe. I don't remember if crouching under lasers is actually a thing that's in standard. I don't think it is. But it doesn't open up a significant amount, certainly. So I think it's still very likely that Spirit Caverns is the play right now. Unless we see something groundbreaking here that's, not Stomp.
What they could do potentially with Stomp, after they have done the boulder escape area, like they could sequence break that, and then they could stomp the pack and go into Grotto. That's maybe something that one of the runners will choose to do here, though that would probably be a sequence break, depending on what kind of skills still lie here in the Blackwood Burrows area.
Yeah, that's definitely a sequence break with the current skill set, but we still have quite a few more pickups, especially with that clean water coming through, in order to get, say, a dash that would then open up all of Grenade and Grotto as the path.
So far, many keystones, not really anything else. Of course, there was that Storm pickup. Now IMRaziel on the right side will be checking this ability cell. He has... Oh, wow, okay, that's the water vein. Put clean water on top of that, and we have found all of the blue pickups that you can get. And that's a very early Ginzo play that's possible right here, right? Like, they have double jump. That's the verticality that they need. And they can already reach the Ginzo tree right now, so...
Well, they can with a sequence break.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, they can't break brew walls yet.
But
that's true.
There seems to be a pretty good chance that our progression is either blue wall breakage or dash at this point, and there's a lot of space left to pick those up, but it's all in the direction of Spirit Caverns, and there's dash.
And that, like we said at the start, puts the grenade area in logic, right? So, and also the laser in Blackwood Burrows, that's certainly in logic now. So maybe there could be something there, which with them having visited Blackwood Burrows that early and... Okay, well, maybe they don't go to the charged flame tree area, right? Like, they do, in order to break the the blue wards, they would still need to level charge dash. I don't know if they can do that right now. Probably don't have enough ability points. But the grenade tree area is in logic now. Okay, there's Bash for IMRaziel on the right side in the Spirit Caverns area. Grimelios will also find that. There's also Glide. Okay, there's so many pickups here.
So Spirit Caverns was just loaded with skills, it looks like, and it looks like we are going to be seeing the play to go through that and get to the Charge Flame tree, which I think this is perfectly reasonable because once you get this out of the way, you don't ever have to come back here, and it actually will be the tree that picks up the first clue.
Which, of course, will be the water vein clue because we have already found that. But we will find out shortly when they check that. IMRaziel, interestingly, chose to skip the cutscene, whereas Grimelios chooses to watch this cutscene. So Grimelios will have the growth teleporter available to him later on, whereas IMRaziel will not have that. Finds the second energy cell. That is very nice. They have only been on one energy cell so far.
Yep, so this little bit of time advantage because of this cutscene for Raz, but in the event that there's no left side teleporters, Grim will have an advantage heading back towards Valley.
That is kind of always the gamble that you do with not skipping the teleporter versus skipping the teleporter cutscene. Now that, okay, Grimelios on the left side just found the Sunstone. So, Rory, we don't care about clues anymore, right? So,
yep. Clues are kind of worthless right now. It's just a hunt for the skills that we need to finish the game. And honestly, I think that we have the skills we need to finish the game.
We have lots of skills, right? Let's see. Bash is very nice. Glide makes Sorrow pretty free. Also, the final escape room is free. Yeah, that's Gomo.
But something that I want to point out, IMRaziel did not check that upper pickup. He will not have his Frankie available to do that anymore, so he will be reliant on that Sunstone clue, because that's not something that you're going to check on a revisit.
Oh yeah, that pickup is certainly not going to be checked by him on a revisit. So if Sunstone is on like tree 6, that wouldn't be too huge, and depending on how IMRaziel routes this, it's may not be too huge, but it would still be a revisit that IMRaziel has to do later on, which Grimelios just does not have to do. So maybe a little bit of an advantage for Grimelios right here, but of course there's still lots of seed to go through, right? So it's not like it's an insurmountable lead already.
No, but it will probably come into play later on, and it has the potential to be a pretty big advantage for Grimelios.
We see the light grenade tree play right now. Like we said, for Grimelios at least, it should be go mode. Doesn't really need to keep looking for IMRaziel. It's pretty much just visit all the trees in order to get the Sunstone clue. So he's going to the grenade tree area. Grimelios is also going to the grenade tree area. IMRaziel is going to check these pickups on his way. Maybe Grimelios will choose to not do that because, like, he probably doesn't even need more health in order to finish. Maybe he would like more energy. He's still sitting on one.
He doesn't need more health at all. He has clean water.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
Nothing matters. We have everything that we need.
Except energy, right? But even still, he can stomp these walls. So...
Yeah, who needs energy? I mean, we'd obviously like it, but I think that's probably the least of their concerns in terms of things that you need to finish the game.
Also, probably something that, at least for Grimelios, like a second energy would be nice, but it's very likely even that he will find that somewhere on his way on some of these pickups while he's cutting down all these trees, so doesn't really need to go look for them. IMRaziel and Grim have both stomped the pack, so they can do the not. Now that's not a sequence break anymore, going to Grotto like that, because they have found Dash, they have found Stomp. So yeah.
Did IMRaziel just skip a mapstone turn in?
Did he? I haven't seen.
I think he did.
Probably doesn't matter, right? Like, it could be a skill, but we've said they are already in go mode, so Like
Yeah.
Razil does not know that. For all he knows, Sunstone could be in a mapstone, so I would be surprised if he skipped that. But maybe he's thinking of getting that later. Maybe he's planning to do the left grotto visit and then turning in the mapstone.
It's possible. It could also just be Raziel saying, "Yeah, I don't care about anything. We just need those sunstone clues."
Well, this is game 3, right? So both of our runners have to win this game in order to take third place. So I would not be surprised if they choose to skip as many things as possible. For Grim, like we said, he can do that without a doubt. He does not really need to look for anything else. Has found a second energy cell somewhere, so that's pretty nice. But Razil, he probably wants to check some of the pickups on his way.
That would make sense without having the sunstone clue yet and no knowledge of where that is. He probably just wants to clear out a few last things. Or he's gonna exit Grotto sort of the intended way, heading on up towards Swamp.
Now, this little... Has that cutscene even a name? We always skip that.
I don't know, I just call it Rocks.
Okay, so he's playing rocks, and he can actually bash the rocks. That's very nice. Probably why he hasn't skipped it, right? Maybe that's even faster than skipping the cutscene. Probably is.
Then he misses the second cutscene skip, so he does actually end up saving Gumo.
Nice guy. Nice guy, Ori.
Good guy.
So
Raz.
getting some very rarely seen lore right here on the right side for Raziel. Grimelios on the left side is already into the valley area though, right now. Intending on clearing everything, not... Okay, I was going to say he's not checking anything because he has skipped the Stompless cell. Now he is checking some of these pickups, like the XP, he has checked that. Needs some keystones, but he could probably key dupe in the server area.
I can only assume that he's looking for keystones or ability cells. As far as I remember, neither of these two have charge dash yet.
Oh yeah, they don't. Right.
It's still so early in the seed. Like, we've been given absolutely everything right now. It's 16 minutes in, and we're looking at, I believe, tree 6 for our runners here.
And all the skills they could possibly want as well, right? So, yeah, I was kind of thinking with Grim being in Valley that he already had charge dash, but you're right, he has not leveled it. Now that's the Gumas here. So every dungeon key is in Grimelios' possession at this moment.
Yep. So for all your going to forlorn needs, all 0 of them. Grim's still checking stuff, looking for something. I'm really wondering what. Presumably either energy or ability points, but that's something that I'm really curious about. Okay, there it is. There's the charge dash level up.
Now we will probably see him skip every other pickup now, which that would tell us that he was definitely only looking to level charge dash. Maybe even hoping to level it because it makes Misty Traversal very fast and also in combination with Bash pretty nice.
Yep. And now we've got Raz's Tree 6 coming up, so we'll see what that clue ends up being. And it is Sunstone in Grove, so that's what you want to see if you're rooting for Raziel right now, because that gives him a much better chance of doing those revisits sooner rather than later.
Of course, the Grove area is a pretty large area. Like the Horror Fields area is also considered Grove by the game. So, but we see Raziel choosing to go maybe to Valley entry right now. So he will probably check this XP. Yeah. So not losing any time to having to look for this Sunstone in the Grove area. Still losing some time because he has to kind of do a revisit.
So that's everything for Raz. I would really expect to see him going straight left right now. And it looks like he's 1 tree down right now. He has the Stomp tree whereas up on Grim, whereas Grim has Glide and Climb.
And Glide and Climb are 2 trees that you get pretty, yeah, like pretty soon next to each other, right? So you get Glide, then you go to Misty. That's not too far away, so Stormtree probably takes a little bit longer for Grimelios to get, but I would still say he's a little bit ahead right now. Tough to say.
I don't know. I think like Climb is one of the longest trees to get to in the game, so we'll see. The thing that I think is really good for Grim right now is that he can route into the Stomp Tree and then exit the normal way, and from there just go straight towards Ginso.
Now Grim is also doing this this climb here. Does not watch the cutscene, so he cannot bash the rocks up. Maybe he will not save Gumu. Okay,
And he'll save Gumu anyways.
Saving Gumu, even though you can't see him, but he's saved now as well, like IMRaziel did. So an interesting thing about that, they have to climb to stomp all the way up from Lower Grotto because that was their entrance to Grotto. Grimelios still sitting on 2 energy, couldn't go to the Death Gauntlet. He still can't break blue walls. Okay, like he has level charge dash, but that's not in logic. So this is probably the way the logic intended them to eventually reach the Storm Tree.
Yeah, and Grim, no ability point here, so he's going to have to do a rekindle on this bridge. Fortunately, there's no need to go back down there. While Raziel picks up his glide tree, so I believe that's going to be 7 for Raz, equalizing the number of trees.
Now Grimelios has chosen to Alt R. Is he
Get the Grotto teleporter at least? I
haven't
think
seen.
he did. This looks like a Sorrow play, but I don't think that he got the Grotto teleporter.
No, yeah, right, because I was saying, like, he had to go all the way up, and then he Alt out at the bridge cutscene. I'm a little bit confused by that play.
Alright, so we are being informed by the truck that Raziel can't save right now, because he hasn't done a save and reload, or he hasn't done a reload. So keep your eyes on Raziel to make sure that he doesn't die here anywhere in Misty. That's going to be a pretty big time loss if that happens.
Well, he's showing some pretty ballsy plays. Like in last game, he had done this tumbleweed strats, and Sorrow also not saving after after he has gotten the boulder up to that area. So, but of course he has 4 health here. Any of these spikes only do 3 damage. He's already through, taking the upper route this time around. So should be fine. And then you can get the save on the climb tree right here.
Yep. And Grim with quite easy Sorrow. Finally having glide in one of these seeds makes the section trivial.
Also a quick key dupe from Grimelios. Now he's up on 8 keys. He only needs 4 more to go to the bash tree eventually, after he enters the Ginso tree, which is probably what he's doing right after the charge jump tree. Wow, there's charge flame on the charge jump tree. I wonder if that's the intended blue thing breakage.
That would be interesting. Oh man, takes a double hit on those spikes there, tries to dash a little bit early. Raziel heading to Sorrow now. I think I have to say that Raziel is in a little bit better position.
He is up the storm tree, which Grimelios still has to get, and I think, yeah, charge jump should be faster to reach for Raziel right now than Stomp should be for Grimelios. But it shouldn't be too close.
But
Or too far. It's pretty close still, though.
here's the next question. Does Raziel have the Swamp Teleporter? Because if not, then he's going to have to do a longer sequence of movement than Grim will in order to reach Ginso.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I don't think Raziel has it. If he has not found it, he certainly has not touched it. I don't think. But he's also key duping, like Grimelios. Raziel only has 6 keys at this point after the key dupe, so he will have to key dupe once more.
Grim going for this lower route as opposed to actually doing the regular swamp entry with the frog.
Well, he has King Rodder, right? So gotta do the swim.
The reason that I think that this is a little bit awkward is because now he's not going to be able to exit that way.
Oh yeah, right. So,
Like-
yeah, the flaws are still there. He hasn't broken them with the frog projectiles. That's true.
So it seems like the plan is maybe then an Altar and regular movement up towards Ginso, as opposed to just leaving Swamp.
So Grimelios will alt R after this. So we can now say with certainty, I think, that yeah, Resi does have the Growler Teleporter. So okay, Grimelios is not alt Ring after this. Maybe he's wanting to swim back.
I wonder. He might not be aware.
Oh, maybe he
That he
thinks he has charge jump from last seed, something like that. Okay, now he's alt Ring. But that's a little bit of a lead for IMRaziel right now, because Grimelios will have to take the same route. Both of them only need one more tree. Now IMRaziel setting up for the Kuro cutscene skip, gets it. Very nice.
When you see the Kuro cutscene skip in randos, and now he has to go all the way up in order to actually make that skip mean anything. But IMRaziel going to hit Ginso up sooner.
Yeah, just a little bit sooner than Grimelios. He is going to touch the Swamp Teleporter right here, so he can Alt R after Ginso and then teleport to this, just to get a little bit faster to the final escape.
And Grim
And
is gonna
Grimelios
hit the
is
Kuro
watching the
cutscene.
cut.
That's a little bit more time for IMRaziel to gain. And this is all coming down to just a little bit of a routing mistake.
Still very close though, but I would not really expect IMRaziel to have any problems in the Ginso tree and also not in the final escape. So it is definitely IMRaziel's race to lose at this point, but it could still be a win. It's not for Grimelios. It's not out of the question. There's warmth return for IMRaziel.
The most useless pickup in the game.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
already found the 1 XP pickup as well in this seed. So both of the most useless pickups have been found.
Yeah, so this is like a 4-room advantage for IMRaziel right now in Ginso. This is not trivial time to make up.
Yeah, probably around something like a minute, something around there. Now IMRaziel looks like he's having a pretty fast mini-boss kill. Yeah, that was a 3 cycle with the charge flame, redirecting the shots back to the mini-boss.
So IMRaziel almost to the bash tree. We'll be able to see just how much of a difference that is between these two pretty soon. But this is the final tree, and then IMRaziel will be altaring and heading back towards that swamp teleporter to go to Horu.
He does have all the skills he needs. He has clean water, like we mentioned, somewhere around in the seed. So also he has 8 health, so he can take at least 1 damage boost. Doesn't even need ultra defense. So he should definitely be fine on the final escape. Grimelios on the left side has just finished his mini boss. So I think that's somewhat around 40 seconds. Like comparing the time at which IMRaziel finished the mini boss and the time at which Grimelios finished the mini boss.
Yeah, so this is a good amount of game at the speed that they're able to play right now. And I don't expect IMRaziel to make any mistakes coming up towards the end of this race.
I think it could really only be if IMRaziel messes up several door rob attempts right here, because I don't expect him to have problems with the final escape. That being said, I don't expect him to have troubles with door rob either, at least not as much trouble that he, like Grimelios, would gain 40 seconds on him. But we will see. IMRaziel will enter Mount Horu right now. Grimelios is teleporting to the Swamp Teleporter. So eyes on the right side as IMRaziel is attempting door wall.
Yeah, and something that I just want to bring up really quickly. Holy cow, we're at 28 minutes in, and IMRaziel is about to start the final escape. What a fast seed.
Wow, okay. I have actually not even paid attention to that, but yeah, that is very fast. Imagine if they were able to grenade jump, which that's the 3 skills they are missing are the components of grenade jump, so they definitely cannot grenade jump, but still gonna be somewhat around like a 30, high 30s, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Very
this
fast.
is an incredible time. IMRaziel a little bit of trouble on that first rock. But Grimelios gets to Horu, maybe about a minute behind. And does not get his first door warp.
Door warp giving him a lot of trouble in all three of these races. Maybe it has to do with like maybe he's a little bit nervous.
Who knows? So Raziel is going to go for fish strats here, bashes the fish up, gets his rocket jump. GG to Raziel taking 3rd place in the randomizer tournament.
GG indeed. After game 3, he deserves to call himself 3rd place in the randomizer tournament 2018.
Really, really impressive stuff from Raziel in this seed. Honestly, in this whole tournament.
Yeah, by both of these runners, right? Like on the left side, Grimelios is still struggling with door, but that is very rough. But even so, he's going to finish with a pretty low time as well. And all of these 3 games have been pretty close, so that's saying that, yeah, like any of them could have taken 3rd place in this tournament here. So definitely deserved the place they were in the brackets.
That is for sure. Grimelios is still having some trouble with this door warp trick. It is, of course, a frame perfect trick, and there it
Gets
goes.
it now. Okay, I have lost count. I actually haven't counted, so
I wasn't even
it's not
trying.
I have lost count. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Grimelios is starting the finals game now. Doesn't matter how many attempts he has taken on door warp. He's still starting at like 30-20. So if he does not have too much problem in this escape, should finish like about 2 minutes after Raziel in this season.
And I think that this is realistically one of the easiest escapes that we've seen.
It's fairly vanilla, like really only missing the grenade jump skill that you would probably do in other categories.
Turns out that having aerial control like double jump and glide actually makes this a lot easier.
Yeah, that second room without any aerial control is just so rough. You could grenade jump through that, but grenade jump is a frame perfect trick, and you would need the skills to grenade jump.
Oh no!
Ooh, oh no, the rock. Okay, fish strats. Yeah, fish strats.
Going for fish strats. The fish just doesn't want to come over, and instead, Grim gets a rock falling on his head.
A very big rock. Not these small rocks at the top that could potentially also mess you up after doing fish strats, but not with the amount of health that Grimelios has right here. So if he gets the rocket jump off the fish, he should be fine with finishing off this. Now he is skipping fish strats after having died to this rock on the left once. Just gonna finish it out the normal way. Not really losing too much time over fish strats, and he's also done now. So GG to Grim.
What a really, really impressive showing from both of these two in this whole series, I have to say. And this was just the 3rd and 4th match.
Oh yeah, there's still the finals are coming up after this shortly, so here's hoping they are just as close. Maybe they are, right? Like, the runners of the finals, Sigma and Muffin, they are pretty capable of playing this game and playing the randomizer. I would expect them to definitely give us a good show.
Yeah, but right now this is all about Grim and Raziel. And
Oh yeah.
wow.
So did you feel like any of the seeds were really bad seeds for these 3 games?
I don't think so. I think, like, obviously the 1st seed and the 3rd seed were just fantastic jet seeds. So
Oh yeah.
compared to that, like, the 2nd seed wasn't great, but it was only like 10 minutes slower.
Yeah,
So
the 2nd seed kind of felt like a normal randomizer seed, I would say, requiring to do some sequence breaks, stuff like that. So pretty nice races overall. Oh, Grimelios doing the fake out. on the Naru here. Okay, now finishing with a time of 33:21. Still very fast for a randomizer seed.
Yeah,
It was a jet seed.
that was really something. So what do you think it came down to in the end in this third seed? Because there was a time when Grim was solidly in the lead in the middle of that race.
Ooh, maybe our runners can tell us more about that. I don't know. I would have to think about it. Do you?
I
know
want
from
to
the top of your
say, I want to say that it was the swamp entry play from Grim, but that might just be me thinking, oh well, that's how I would have done it. So who knows? Like, it's so hard to say.
The Swampsman probably lost some time, but he was at some point he was about 40 seconds behind Brazil. I don't know if it would have been enough time. But yeah, still very close. So that's always nice.
Yep. So we're going to see if we can get these two in to interview. I definitely want to get their thoughts on this series as a whole. We had such a close first seed, and then a normal-ish second seed, and then this seed.
Yeah, I would definitely want to hear the thoughts of our runners. I'm hoping they remember their first two seeds. It can be pretty tough to remember them after having played 3 seeds in a row. But we will find out shortly, I think.
Well, that first seed was just the absolute perfect seed. We got all of the skills that we wanted right at the start. I think the first 4 pickups that they checked were what? Climb, charge, jump, grenade, and dash.
Oh yeah, that was something.
So that was just a seed that said, hey, here's literally everything that you could possibly want.
But I think it was the slower seed overall, right? Like game 3 was still faster.
I don't remember what the exact times were, but they were both quite fast seeds for game 1 and game 3. It was game 2 where there was a sort of a middle game dash find and a late game dash find that sort of slowed it down a lot.
So fast seeds by very fast runners, and we are actually going to interview both of the runners. So that's very nice that we'll get to hear their thoughts on this seed very soon.
Yep, and it looks like we're just sorting out a couple technical difficulties on Raziel's side, making sure that his microphone's working properly before we get them in here. But I can't reiterate how impressed I was with both of their play throughout this series. And I don't know, like, I think there was the potential for game 3 to see a sort of runaway from Grim because of that early Sunstone find, but then after Raziel got that clue, I think the first pickup that he checked in Grove was the Sunstone. He just knew, oh, well, I left this pickup here, so time to go back for it, and it ended up paying off, saving that entire dig. Looks like we are getting Grimelios and Raziel in here now. So, how are you guys doing? And Raziel, congrats on the win.
Yo, thanks. GG Grim. I'm
Thanks,
sorry
GG.
about that last seed. I was super lucky that last seed.
No, I ran into 2 different snares I've literally never even seen anyone hit before in my life, in all the rando I've done over the last year and a half. Which is having to skip the bridge cutscene. I would have soft locked. I had no ability points to do it.
Oh.
Well,
did you find the grotto TP or the swamp TP?
I didn't find
alone,
any of them.
If I found one of those, it would have instantly shaved 3 minutes off the seed.
That's true. I didn't find
I
any of them.
I had to go past the bridge, and I didn't have like
two things here. Sorry to cut you off, Grim, but I want to get to what you're talking about in a minute. The first thing that I want to say is Game 3 Raziel Sunstone. That was the first pickup that you checked after you got the clue.
That's where I got super lucky. I completely I got the clue. I don't remember which tree it was. I got a clue, and I was just no. I mean, where I got the clue. So I got the clue. I altared, and I was just in tree mode. So I was just I was set in my mind that I shouldn't have skipped the Grove teleport cutscene. So I was just going left for the trees, and then I remembered that I had the clue. It was Grove, and because I was already going left, I thought, okay, I will just do Grove from this side, and that's why I was saying I got really lucky, because it was the first pickup, because I skipped it the first time I passed through, so I got really lucky. That's it.
And then Grim, just to touch on what you were talking about a minute ago, the whole bridge cutscene into Swamp thing. You said that was something you'd never really encountered before.
How often do you go backwards from Grotto?
You don't.
Out of probably the last 1,000 seeds I've done that twice. I remember because literally one other time I have ever done that. I mean, it's not like it's hard, but when do you ever do that, much less have to do it without any ability points? It's not something I think about because I've never, ever seen anyone run into that, ever.
I know that because
my
of
fault, but like
the only reason why I know that
and a half down the drain, maybe 2.
The only reason why I know that is because of all cells, where you do that skip with rekindle.
I didn't know if it was possible with rekindle. It must have to be extremely far to the left.
Yeah, it's almost at the end of the bridge, and then you went to the cutscene and you rekindle, and yeah.
Because it didn't work where I had it. I was holding B the entire time. I don't know. I'd be curious to have you look at it, because I didn't forget about rekindle. I placed a save and tried to rekindle, and it did not work. It must have to be farther to the left. And if not, then that's a bug. I was holding B consistently the whole time.
Yeah, I think it was too far to the right, actually. A little bit. The save.
It's a bit precise, I think.
Yeah.
My guess as to what it was that you started holding B before you were actually on top of the Soul Link. And...
No, it wasn't that for the distance. It was a save point placement. Done a lot of rekindles in my time. It wasn't the B, like when I pressed it.
Anyways, that aside, the next thing that I want to ask you about was your route through Swamp to the Stomp Tree, because it looked like there was a little bit of uncertainty in where you were going there.
Well, I knew I had 2 trees left. Ordinarily, you would go out that time, and it's such an unusual seed that I just forgot about the barricade.
That is totally understandable.
Pisses me off. That could have been 4 minutes faster. Honest to God, that could have been like a 27.
That was absolutely.
But it was just 2 mistakes that I've almost never seen before.
And speaking of jet seeds, I want to talk about the first seed as well a little bit. That was a seed where you guys were given, I think, all 3 skills for grenade jumps and dash in the first 4 pickups. So, what was the reaction to that? Let's start with Raziel.
I'm trying to remember the first seed. I remember that I was actually a bit upset with myself because I played badly. I don't really remember the first seed. Yeah, I don't remember the first seed. Was that the one that I did the bolus strats in sorrow? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I know we didn't get credit for the first 2 seeds.
I remember it was the one where I died at the end of the escape. Yeah, that was one. I was a bit upset because I was farming. Okay, right. Because I actually I was farming for another health cell because I was a bit uncomfortable with going with 6 health. And then in the end, I tried to skip the spawning Kuro at the last room of the escape with a grenade and then a charge jump, and I barely missed it. and I died after to the fire, and because that was super close, so I was a bit upset with myself on the execution there. But yeah, I remember that the first seed was, I think, like all of the seeds were fast, but not normal, like not the normal route that you would do or that you are used to in a seed. So yeah, I'm actually happy that we didn't get any bash grenade seeds. I know Grim doesn't like them. I'm okay with them, but I actually don't like them that much also. So I'm just happy that we didn't get any of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing about the first seed, I want to ask Grim about this. IMRaziel mentioned that it was a really close race, and well, it was, but Grim, you did fish strats, so it could have been even more ridiculous.
Well, the thing is, I didn't have charge jump, I didn't have feather, and I didn't have double jump, so getting around that little curve would almost certainly have killed me. If I did it 100 times, I could get it, but there was no way I was going to be able to round the curve without spawning Kuro, and so I just did fish strats.
That is absolutely valid. That was something that we were talking. We heard the commentators talking about is fish strats for safety there, and because IMRaziel ended up trying to get through to get to the grenade jump and took that death, and that's what caused that. But
yeah, that's the sort of scenario, like Raz said, those were weird seeds. That almost never ever happens. You only need one of a few things to get through that. And like you say it's for safety, which is accurate. Like, to me, that's almost putting it lightly. Like, to get through that, I don't even know if it's possible. You could use the fish, I guess, like double bash. That'd be about it.
well, it's definitely possible because Raz did it in this on his second attempt, but that safety is what really paid off in that first race.
Well, I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, very close races. So, just a general question. Now that the randomizer tournament is over, at least for you two, I would like to ask both of you, actually, starting with IMRaziel, how much time do you think have you invested in just playing the randomizer throughout this tournament?
Actually, not a lot. I mean, I've started playing the randomizer since the first version of the randomizer, but I haven't played a lot, well, Ori at all lately. I mean, in fact, for the doubles, we were almost never practicing. It was one of the things that me and Sigma was we were having difficulty to practice. I have tried to at least like every 2 days to play one seat. That was basically my my practice during the tournament.
Yeah, for me it's
Grim,
been
for you.
a lot. Not so much in the past week since I lost to Muffin, but before that I was doing like 2 or 3 seeds pretty much every single day. So I mean, however long the seeds take, but I've done an enormous amount of randomizer just to try to. There's so many things. I mean, you forget one thing and you lose. Like, I mean, this is a fast seed. It's hard to nail it down to one thing, but like that bridge thing by itself might have lost me the race. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I hadn't hit that before. If you do enough randomizer seeds, eventually you hit all the garbage that can kill you and kill your run.
Oh.
And then you start to memorize it, but it takes a trillion seeds.
With randomizer, you really learn something new every day.
I like the way you put it. Learn all the garbage. Yeah.
That's kind of true. So, looking forward, with 3.0 of the randomizer coming out, what are both of your plans for that? Are you guys excited for that?
I'm excited. I don't know how heavily I'm gonna play Ori randomizer for at least a few days or something. For me, it's kind of a relief. I mean, I really wanted to win today, but like, there's a big difference between playing rando and playing competitive rando. And I don't know if I should say this with the finals coming up, but competitive rando sucks because at a high level, someone's gonna get randoed every single time. To greater or lesser degree. So for me, just in terms of the future, I'll be sort of relieved to be able to play it and Ocarina of Time randomizer a little bit more casually. I think that'll be better.
Awesome. Raz?
Yeah, I'm excited for 3.0. I'm not sure if I will pick it up right away. Probably not. I might soon get either back to one of the all cells runs, or maybe try another one that another category that I haven't tried before, like maybe all dungeons. I kind of miss actually doing some normal, let's say, speedruns of the game. So yeah, but I'm about 3.0. I am excited for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, 3.0 will be quite something. I'm very excited for the weekly races that we're going to be doing for that. So yeah, this has been the third place match of the Orient the Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament 2018. But this has not been the last match of this tournament. Of course, there's still the grand finals coming up right after this one. We'll be taking about a 20-ish minute break, so it'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, we will see you around for that. So just a quick shout out again to all the people who have helped us Griffs on the restream, Iced and Skull on the truck, and last but not least, Rory, thank you so much for commentating this one with me.
Absolutely, and once again, big shout out to Grimelios and IMRaziel for fantastic showing in this whole series, and thanks to everyone who came out to watch this. We will see you in 20 minutes.
Before we go, I just want to say that this community, the Ori community, is absolutely amazing, and I love you all. And good luck to Muffin and Sigmund for the finals.
All right, great parting words from
have
IMRaziel
never
there.
been spoken. See you around for the finals.